Hello, one and all. Hello, anyone who watches this back later, who is possibly the only person who sees this introduction momento before people click on a live link. I'm never really sure. There's sometimes a significant delay between when the stream starts and when I see any interaction from people. From what I've been able to work out, the lag between me saying things and people seeing it and responding is usually somewhere between 10 and 30 seconds. So, when I start, maybe there's someone seeing it from the start. Who knows? But I think then people get notifications that the stream is a happening, and they take the opportunities to join in, which is a good thing. It's a good and wonderful and special thing to have you along, whether you are joining the live stream or whether you watch it back later. As I said before, I think this, it's a different experience live and watching back, but multiple people have told me that if they know there's just, some talking happening for a couple of hours, they often find it useful as a background for doing chores and stuff around the house. And I can get with that. I often, even not necessarily for a couple of hours, but when I got to sort of do some stuff, whether it's cleaning, unpacking, repacking the dishwasher, sorting laundry, all that sort of shit. It's like, it's less of a drag if you have something to do. If you have something to do, or something to listen to, or something to watch, I like to think like sorting laundry. I might listen to a podcast or a stream, or I might stick the TV on and watch something while I'm sitting on the lounge doing the folding and whatnot. It's a little distraction is a good thing, in my humble opinion. So anyway, yes, that's as it stands. This is all possibly just background for anyone who watches this late, because I did not give much advance warning that I was doing this. So, people may not have got an advance notification, and again, the information I get on who's watching and whatnot, I have found repeatedly to be somewhat unreliable. So yes, it kind of looks to me like no one's joined the stream yet, but there are other times when I've thought that based on what my display is telling me, but then people put, no, I'm here. So, and I think that's also that lag thing that I was talking about. What I see and what's actually happening can be different by up to 30 seconds. So anyway, Gecko, you're doing well, man. How are you doing? I assume it's Saturday morning for you. And Hellion, hello to you as well, Kirsten. As you're easing in to Saturday night. And just before going live, I was doing the close-up shots for the Gimlet video. Oh, God. It's still somewhat mirthful for me, Gecko. You haven't been around for 2 weeks. The fridge has been here for 2 weeks. But yes, there was a period where basically every stream, someone would go, oh, new fridge. Like, yes, I got a new fridge. Just coming up on 2 weeks ago. It's bigger and it's more energy efficient, so I can fit more stuff in it and it costs less to run. Nice. Kirsten, you spent the whole day drinking gin. I'm about to start. I'm just wondering this. Sometimes this silicone mold behaves really weirdly and the ice sticks and I cannot get it out. I want some... Oh, God, there's one piece. Jesus, that was a fucking effort. And a little bit of ASMR ice cracking now. Yep, fucking missed. I'm so bad at this. Oh, damn, your mum's in hospital for a few weeks. Now that would be distracting. Gecko been drinking wine? Yes, I hardly have any booze in the house. Past midnight. Maybe it's not the best time to start. Maybe it's better that you don't have any in the house. Fuck's sake, just go in there. Jesus. All right, I'm going to have one more vain attempt. Ooh, Kirsten, you were doing an online festival. Interesting production, but not without technical difficulties. Well, doesn't that just sum up doing things online? Can be interesting, can be very good, but expect technical difficulties. That one's a bit more like it. Come on, just break now, you bastard. I see that. There. Fucking fine. Jesus. And put the rest of this ice back in our freezer. Oh, Gecko, that's sad news, man. Your mum's not going to go for long. Unfortunately, this is the passage of time. This is something we all have to face at some point. I already have with both parents. So, yes, I feel for you. Anyway, more ASMR as I stir my ice. And get it good and cold. That's good, Gecko, being philosophical. But yeah, it sucks. There's no two way about it. Probably enough. Have a little suck on Gaz Regan's finger to test it. Oh. Strain it. Ooh, just fits in the Nick and Nora. Alrighty. That cordial really just kind of sits suspended in the gin. You can't really see the detail. You can see it looks cloudy, but looking closely, it's just like the cordial mixture is sitting suspended in the gin. It actually looks quite cool. Yeah. Also, Gecko made a couple $100 on Dogecoin last night. Been joining in the market speculation. It's the week for it, isn't it? There was, I thought there was something behind me, but it's actually on my screen. Droplets on my screen. Yes, it's been the week for people doing online speculation, hasn't it? With the GameStop drama and then the Dogecoin valuation going through the roof really suddenly. Everything is a fucking casino. It's just like roll up, take your bets. Maybe you'll win big, maybe you'll lose everything. But Yeah, it'd be nice if this bullshit with the GameStop trading this week just really brought home to people like the stock market is absolute bullshit. It is a game. It has no inherent meaning. It does not tell you anything inherently useful about any company or the economy, whatever. It's just fucking slot machines for rich pricks. And as we've seen, when someone games them following their own rules, they go, oh, no, 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 no. That's not for the likes of you. We are now going to aggressively change the rules so you can't do that anymore. Okay, you almost missed Dogecoin, but did miss out on GameStop. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people with the GameStop in but the people who got in the GameStop, a lot of them in a very short period of time made like a 10 times profit, buying the stock at $10 or $15, selling it at above the $150 mark. Not bad. I think you think the stock market's fine, but hedge funds are manipulative bastards. The stock market is complete bullshit. It's complete meaningless. It used to have a meaning. It has ceased to have that meaning for a very long time, and it's just a tool of speculation now. And the hedge funds are out and out criminal fucking manipulators of the market. The shit they do should not be legal. You simply should not be able to. You shouldn't be able to make any money, let alone billions of dollars, with that bullshit of shuffling pieces of paper around. Metaphorically, it's absolutely contemptible, and you shouldn't be able to do it. And yes, in the bright and shining future of the angry dictatorship, they will most definitely be made illegal. I think Doge went up almost 700% over several hours, back down to a reasonable amount now. Yeah. Well, we were talking about cryptocurrency last night as well. Cryptocurrency is just bullshit speculation. It is absolutely meaningless. It means nothing. There is no actual value involved. It's just collective delusion, and money is thrown around so long as everyone shares the same delusion. Cryptocurrency is probably orders of magnitude worse than the stock exchange, because it's literally nothing, and it isn't possible for it to ever be something. At least the theoretical base of the stock market is something. It's companies, it's products, it's primary goods. The cryptocurrency is nothing but speculation on something that literally does not exist. It's a collective delusion. I mean, mind you, capitalism broadly is a collective delusion. Oh, Jesus Christ, my phone's turned up loud. Fuck me. Made me jump out of my fucking skin. Why the fuck was the ringer up that loud? Jesus. That was AIDSy. He's going to give it a go again tonight. Well, let's send him a link. A linky poo. Go on, Gmail. You can do it. Start up. That's done. I'll just text him to confirm. Gecko, you did sum it up. Cryptocurrency is as real as the ones and zeros on my hard drive, things that do not exist and have no inherent value. But the ones and zeros on my computer can do things. The cryptocurrency speculation cannot actually do anything. Yes. Gecko, you've brought real product with Bitcoin. Wasn't that a bad fucking idea? How many Bitcoins did you spend on the product, and what would that be worth if you didn't spend it? No, because you checked your work email on the weekend and there's an invite from the big boss. Oh, wow. Yeah. It's probably good. But I'm completely on board with you on stressing on things like that. Celtic King, hello. I'm fine. See, Gecko, you're saying it has whatever value people decide. Like I said, it is a collective delusion, and it only has any value so long as everyone shares the same delusion. Basically, was the phrase William Gibson coined in his cyberpunk books, a consensual hallucination. His immersive form of cyberspace was a consensual hallucination. Everyone who went there knew it wasn't real, but if they all agreed to certain meanings of certain things, they could all experience this version of cyberspace. So, and yeah, cryptocurrency is not a real thing. It doesn't exist. There is no meaning behind it. And it is very much a collective consensual hallucination. You can only apply any value to it if everyone applies the same value to it. Literally, if everyone overnight said cryptocurrency is worthless, we were all stupid as hell. God, that was dumb. Cryptocurrency would be worthless because it's not a thing. Like you can say like, oh yeah, if everyone said that about gold, the value of gold would disappear. And yes, you could collectively decide that gold is worth far less than it's valued at now. But even if you did that, gold still exists. Gold is a real thing. Gold has actual uses. You see, Gecko, what you did, you took the absolutely ephemeral cryptocurrency and turned it into the slightly less ephemeral currency in a bank account. Now, dollars and pounds and euros and everything, that's another collective consensual hallucination. Those bits of paper and coins and numbers in bank accounts in and of themselves are meaningless. They only have meaning if everyone ascribes the same meaning to them. They're a bit more solid than cryptocurrency. So I want to be clear. Currencies are a consensual hallucination. It's just a collective will to say, yeah, we all agree it's worth that. And if people stop agreeing to that, it stops being a thing. Hi, Abigail. Oh, yeah, and Kirsten, I have to side with Abigail. I'm very firmly of the opinion it's chicken parma, not chicken palmy. I'm not necessarily going to go to war over it, but yes. I think going downstairs to get a chicken parma is lower risk than cooking yourself while slightly intoxicated. Interesting point you raised, Gecko, saying the only real thing is real estate, limited physical commodities. Trivia, real estate, the root of that word doesn't mean real. It is the Spanish real, which means royal. It means royal estate. It means estate granted to you by the crown. And in practical terms, even if you own a house, you own that house at the pleasure of the government of the day, basically. The government, any government, can suddenly say, oh, okay, if you owe property, you have to pay us an additional annual tax of X, and if you can't afford that, we're taking it from you. So this house is real, the land is real, but the concept of ownership of it is ephemeral. And it's kind of funny that people don't realize that even, the concept of ownership is ephemeral. Gecko, basements are very rare in Australia. And I did see your Mervyn the Martian tie. When did I get it? I have no idea. I got it in the 90s. It was so long ago. Even remembering where I got it from would be meaningless. But I got this tie in the 90s. Celtic King, Aidsy is going to join us because he messaged me just a while ago and I sent him the link. That could mean he will be with us anywhere from now to an hour from now, because there are many variables that could... Gecko, eminent domain. Similar laws to that exist everywhere, as far as I know. We have eminent domain laws as well. And that's one where if the government decides because of something they're doing, they need to acquire your land, you have no say in the matter. The government can say, I'm actually building a highway through here, so here's some money for your house. Fuck off. And you don't stand a goddamn chance. Well, actually, sometimes people win eminent domain fights. Gecko, they're required to give you value for their land, but they dictate what that value is. And yes, some people have sort of won cases against the government when the behavior and the offer behind the eminent domain was found by a court to not be reasonable. But it's a big fucking struggle. If the government decides something, to beat them is a very big struggle. That's it, Abigail. It's about the vibe. It's the vibe. It's Marbo. I don't know if anyone's too young to remember the movie The Castle. A very funny movie. Very weird movie as well. Love it. So... yeah, virtually everything. And, laws only mean something if everyone involved agrees that the laws mean something. Otherwise, it's just something someone said, If there isn't an agreement on what laws mean and an agreement on enforcement powers, then, laws are as ephemeral as anything else. Oh, there you go, Celtic King. Government's putting a new bridge over Shoalhaven River in an hour. And yep, that's exactly what would have happened to some people if the government decided they needed to acquire properties for the construction. They will just do it. And the principle is the greater good. That's usually what drives it. It's like, yes, it might suck for the people who never wanted to move, never wanted to sell their house, but the greater good is served by the thing we're doing. Okay, I don't know what that one is, Gecko. You're watching Sweet Home on Netflix. Thought it was going to be live action remake of the Parasite anime, and you were wrong. I'm not familiar with it. I don't know what that is. God, now I've made this cordial. I should make gimlets more often. I'm going to think of something else I can make with my cordial, actually. Something with orange flavor, because I've got orange mandarin. Maybe something. What's some of the ones that they normally put orange blossom water in it? That's a big thing with a lot of people. What are the big days today? Like I decided I'd mark the Beatles' last ever gig happened on this day in 1969. It's also Franklin Roosevelt's birthday, the day Charles I was beheaded. It's Croissant Day. There you go. It's an almond old-fashioned. Bourbon, amaretto, sugar syrup. Maybe I should make another dark sugar syrup. It's good for a few things. I made a dark sugar syrup, and I was going to use it, and I got it out of the fridge, and there was actually freaking I was going to say fungus. That's not quite the right word, but stuff growing on the top of it, and I was like, ew, okay. I thought it would have lasted longer than that, but there you go. Have I heard of rose water? Yes. Oh no, Kirsten, the kitchen closed early. No. You just found out the Beatles did a version of the Mechanicals play from Midsummer Night's Dream. The Beatles got into some serious drugs. Okay, Celtic King, see you a bit later, maybe. Maybe I need. What if I just put orange cocktail? What comes up if I do that? Orange crush, orange vodka martini. Impressive orange juice cocktail recipes. See, that could be good. What's here? Bocce ball. Bocce ball is a screwdriver with amaretto. Harvey Wallbanger, Sour Sunrise, Bucks Fizz, Belmont Breeze. What's that? Bourbon. Sherry. Ooh, actually, kind of interested in that one. I might be able to do something with that. Sounds interesting. Gecko, I think we did talk about the fact you had a car wreck. I don't remember details. What's in a Belmont Breeze? Bourbon or rye, sherry, lemon juice, simple syrup, splash of orange juice, splash of cranberry juice, mint leaves. And so I could do that with the whiskey, sherry, lemon juice, and in place of orange juice and simple syrup, use my orange cordial. That actually sounds pretty good. What's another one there? Orange creamsicle. Vanilla vodka. Whipped cream vodka. What do they say to do? I could use one of my cream liqueurs with that. Madras. Vodka, orange juice, and cranberry juice. Bliss on the beach. Oh, the vodka cocktail. Okay, and this is actually mainly your fault, I think, Kirsten. You've turned me into an absolute snob about vodka and how it's such a bullshit thing to put in a drink. It's like, just, put gin in or white rum or whatever. Tequila, if that suits. It's just like vodka is such bullshit. It's just to get pissed. So why not have the fun of something that has actual flavor when you're getting pissed? I know why, because some people don't want to feel like they're drinking alcohol when they're getting pissed. Guilty, at least I was in the past. Would you, Gecko? Yeah, someone ran a red light, smashed the car you picked up for a rental. Oh, no. Oh, Jesus. I think I kind of do remember that. The people who hit you abandoned their car and ran off. Jesus, that puts you in a bad situation. But yeah, just if a recipe says vodka, put gin in it or white rum, or maybe tequila. If what you want is a clear spirit because you want the colors from the other things, Much more interesting than doing vodka. So I kind of like the... what's happening to the man? Something... See, I told you. Something came up in his complicated life, so we may or may not see AZ at any point. What do they say is in an orange creamsicle? Triple sec, vodka, orange juice, and cream. Yeah, see, you know what I do? Fuck off the vodka. I'd make this with my orange curacao, white rum, my orange cordial, and a cream liqueur. And then you've got an interesting drink. Jordan, what's a good starter cocktail? Okay, Jordan, you've opened a door there, my friend. For everyone watching on Facebook, on YouTube, Jordan's on Facebook. Oh, wow. Judd, Abigail, you're trying to start a fight. Friend asked what the best gin is. You replied vodka. A lot of people agreed. Oh, that's cool, Kirsten. You've got your salad happening. Jordan, it absolutely depends on what you like. There's quite a few relatively simple cocktails. It depends, A, what you like, and B, what you have on hand. I before sort of rushing into something, I'd probably, the ones I'm going to lean towards are classics like a martini or an old fashioned, or if you're getting a bit more fancy, a whiskey sour, a gimlet, which I had a bit earlier. Sorry, I got I'm really phlegmy for some reason. So yes, the determining factors are going to be what you like the taste of and what you have on hand. Like if you like rum and you have the appropriate ingredients, I might suggest something simple like a daiquiri. That's a nice classic. If you like tequila, I'd say a margarita, because they only require a couple of ingredients, easy to make, taste good. Yeah, Keko. I swear to God, man, ever since COVID came out, because I'm always a bit phlegmy in the mornings. I think it's got to do with the way I sleep, like with my mouth open and snoring. Just ask Mrs. Angry. I'm always a bit phlegmy in the mornings. There probably hasn't been a day go by since COVID came out that I haven't gone, God, ooh, geez, that's not COVID, is it? That's not, and clearly it's not, or it hasn't been up to this point. And given that there's basically no COVID in circulation in Melbourne, it can change like that, and you could be unlucky and get exposed. But when you think about the odds, it's actually really safe to say the chances of you getting infected with COVID in Melbourne at the moment are at least 1 million to 1, because we're a city of a couple million people. What could happen, the most likely infection vector is someone in quarantine. And so if someone comes in from overseas and doesn't go into proper quarantine, and they go out and about and it turns out that they're infected and they're out and about, that's like the chances of you running into that one person at the first day are about 1 million to 1. But if they infect a couple of people on day 2, the chances of you running into someone who's infectious drop quite a bit, to a couple 100,000 to 1. And if they're still not discovered and they infect a few more people, then it's it's dropped down to 100,000 to 1 chances, and and it left unchecked, as we have seen repeatedly, it sort of goes out exponentially. But Failing that, yeah, it's about 1,000,000 to 1 that I've been exposed. Oh yeah, Kirsten, the fucking tennis players in their COVID. Jesus. Or was it, Abigail, your apartment's a dust trap? Little ventilation, there's a cat, allergen central, you get plenty in coffee as your body filters it out. Yes. Yeah, and people, that's the one thing. I feel like every time I've gone out since COVID was a thing, like, and that's like going to the supermarket or something. I every time I go to the supermarket, oh God, I want to cough so bad, but I also don't want to freak people out. So I'm going to try real hard to suppress the urge to cough. And it feels a bit rough sometimes. So I think horchata recipe here. Do they have any recipes in here? Bloody hell! This sounds like a weird version of a like espresso martini. 50 mils of this horchata, 45 mils pineapple juice, 15 mils of espresso coffee. Dust it with cinnamon powder. That would be very low alcohol. I don't like coffee, so it's nothing I want to do. Avoid direct sunlight and temperatures above 30 degrees. Keep chilled in the fridge, not the freezer. Once open, we recommend to consume within 6 months. Oh, good. I think I'll have consumed it in 6 months. And I am keeping it in the fridge. Gecko, it's literally the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing. It's the chances of me, if one infectious person gets into the community, the chances of me running into them are like 1,000,000 to 1. But if they infect a couple people, then the next day, the odds of me coming into contact with an infectious person have gone down to 500,000 to 1. And if it's still not detected and they infect a few more people, on day 3, like it's gone down to about 200,000 to 1. Same thing, day 4, it's like 100,000 to 1. And then it comes down to the UK or super fucking likely, unless you lock yourself in your house. If you go out, you stand a really high chance of contracting COVID. So yeah. Gecko, it is, it's got a creamy base. It's not surprising they say avoid direct sunlight, but because it's comparatively low alcohol, which means it's susceptible to turning. Like all my spirits over there, they're all such high alcohol, they're not going to go off. But when you've got particularly creamy liqueurs, this is a thing with vermouths as well. All my vermouths are in the fridge because low alcohol by volume, they oxidize if they're left out. So keeping in the fridge preserves them. Right, I have to make a cocktail. I want to do it before I forget too much. Going to make a which one was it on? The liquor.com site, I think. A pisco sour with 4 ounces of pisco in it, which I've already decided how I'm going to market this when I make the video. And it's got 4 ounces of pisco in it, which would be illegal to serve in a venue in Australia. Abigail, that is a perfect analogy. The song from Jeff Wayne's musical version of The War of the Worlds. The chances of COVID coming for me are 1,000,000 to 1, he said, but still they come. Gecko, you got to head out, man. Take care, buddy. Marvin the Martian cocktail. There probably is one. There probably is a Marvin the Martian cocktail out there. Because that's always in the back of my mind as we sort of relax a bit again. and go, yeah, you know what? There's no COVID in the community. It's fucking awesome. We can go out and da-da-da-da. And then someone comes through quarantine or doesn't quarantine, or they get an exemption and they're supposed to stay at home and they don't. And suddenly it's all on again. Ashoka, the COVID definitely will hang around like annual flus, and it will be part of the annual flu vaccination, because once we have effective vaccines and it's known how to do it, and there will be we already know there are variants of it, it will be part of the cocktail that goes into annual flu vaccinations. But given that it is both currently much more infectious than your run-of-the-mill influenza, and a higher fatality rate and higher medical complication rate than bog standard influenza, it's really dangerous. And yeah, and like as the US has seen, all the dumb shit people said, COVID did pass every other cause of death in America. Like they kept saying, oh, this many people died from heart disease, this many people died from lung cancer. By the time, the US hit 400,000 deaths, it's like, yep, that is actually more people killed than heart disease or lung cancer or whatever. But yes, once we get on top of COVID, it will never actually be gone. It'll just come back as seasonal flu and be able to combat it with just the normal flu vaccination that you can get each year. Until the next fucking variation comes along, or the next fucking virus, which is pretty much an inevitability. Yeah. But I'm going to make an English bar pisco sour, and I'm going to hype it up on my YouTube channel by saying it's an illegal cocktail. And I'm not. That's not even really hyperbole. It would be illegal to sell it in any Australian venue under responsible service of alcohol laws. Hey, that's an interesting username. Hello to you in Jersey. My day went fairly well. I hope things aren't too fraught over there in Jersey. There's a lot of shit going on. So I'm hoping you're okay. But yeah, it's a fraught old world we live in. So, but pisco, oh God, I think I'm going to use my cordial again, because you meant to use lime juice and simple syrup. Oh no, I think I'll use lime juice and simple syrup actually. Be a bit weird. Abigail, you finally found a BitTorrent with all 9 seasons of Scrubs. Oh wow, that would actually be an interesting thing to binge watch. I didn't watch absolutely all of Scrubs, particularly not the later seasons, but it was a pretty entertaining show, quite honestly. Kirsten, husband went to the Bitters Lab today. I hope he had a good time. Bitters Lab, fun place to visit. And so much to purchase there. The credit card got a beating. Oh, yes. I have at various times spent several $100s in there. All right, I need to... look, either you can just watch me make a cocktail, unless anyone wants to, be the angry bunch and look after things. It is indeed very close to your place, Abigail. We took the opportunity a couple of weeks ago to have a lunch and visit the Bitters Lab. I love their collection of stuff. It might go soon. And so you also had to buy gin, Kirsten. Well, that's fair. I actually cleared a little bit of shelf space over there. I had a couple of bottles that were almost gone, and they I emptied them, and so I've got a bit of shelf space. I can buy a couple of things. Oh, you're doing bookbinding, Abigail. I want to see you doing bookbinding. I'm quite fascinated. That's another thing for us to nerd out about. Hey, you like a cocktail? I'm going to make a cocktail, my friend. Okay, same as the other guy. What are your tastes? Like, what alcoholic beverages do you like, and what like non-alcoholic tastes and flavors and things do you like? Because I'd want to tailor it for you. It's pointless saying what I like if that isn't what you like. And the world of cocktails is a very wide and varied place. So it's very easy to come up with something. Dr. Abigail joining us. Hello.
Sorry, I'm a bit washed out, but I got this bright light on
For
the
your
work I'm doing.
That's okay.
Yes.
That's okay.
So if I woke up in a lot of pain and my voice is a bit fucked today.
No, that's okay. You don't need to apologize for that.
Okay, so
there you go.
These are the signatures. This is the signature block. A signature is a group of pages.
Mm-hmm.
They're all folded in half.
Mm-hmm.
And I've poked holes in them with my awl, which is over there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get them out of order. So I've made this cover page.
Mm-hmm.
And this side of the cover page gets glued to the cover. It's going to be a hardback cover. And this side of the cover page gets glued to the flyleaf, which is here. And then we got the title page of the book and then the first page. So
nice.
this is the signature block. So this is what I'm binding at the moment. And I've got this thread. This is linen thread, slightly waxed with beeswax.
Okay.
It's much stronger than cotton thread. Which is why it's commonly used. And I'm sewing these together. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. And so I'm just gonna keep doing that, and people can comment and stuff. So
well, Fox and Kirsten are with us as well, so that's nice.
Cool. And this needle I'm using a curved needle because it's so much easier to when you poke the thread into the signature. That straight needles get lost everywhere. It's just ridiculously tedious. So I used a curved. I forget what it's called, like a mattress needle or something. Kirsten, you're looking nice today.
So I went to an online gin festival today, and part of that was that I was going to be on camera at some point. So I did get ready today, and this is what I look like after literally 8 hours of gin drinking.
Well, you are looking lovely.
Is that I am a professional. This is not my job, but I am a professional. So
professional gin drinker. That's life goals.
Yes. I should show you the box. You're going to see my messy apartment, but see how big that box is. There's 60 gin in that.
Wow.
Hi, Annette.
That's dedication to the cause.
I would just say it's just been mixing vodka with stuff. And look, dude, that's fun. Just mixing vodka with. Here's my tip for you. Go to like your supermarket or whatever, a Whole Foods, whatever they call them around your neck of the woods. Get some fruit juices that look wild and wacky and interesting, and try and make some sort of fruit cocktail and, then chuck your vodka in that. And then it's amazing the sort of flavors you can get from different fruit juice. And maybe mint. Experiment with herb. Oh, that's a tip. Experiment with herbs as well. Mint or basil or something. Like crush it up and put it in a thing and mix it in and get that herbal taste in there as well. You can have a bit of fun with that.
You used to do a lot of vodka infusions, didn't you?
Yeah, that's the other fun thing to do. Vodka will absorb stuff. Rock candy. Have you got a favorite rock candy? Dissolve that in some vodka, and then you've got rock candy vodka. But you can do the same thing with fruit peel, like citrus peel in vodka thing, or again, herbs. You put herbs in vodka, and then you end up with this sort of herbal vodka. But if there's anything you like the flavor or smell of, you can put it in vodka and see how it comes out. It's quite fun to experiment.
You're making me want to do a pineapple vodka.
Yeah. Oh, burn the pineapple, like barbecue or grill the pineapple so it starts to caramelize.
Yeah, caramelize.
Soak that in vodka. That would be good.
Oh.
See, leading you astray, Abigail. There you go.
You've already done that. You've already done that.
That's true.
Annette, how you get a box like that is that you are an influencer who gets invited to come to this festival.
Nice.
Are you an influencer, Kirsten?
She's a ginfluencer.
I'm a ginfluencer.
Yeah. See that? Yeah.
So yes, I did get that delivered, and I got this delivered the other day as well, which was really cool.
Oh, nice.
This is from up like Sarther's neck of the woods, Beechworth.
Okay. So A seems excited by those ideas of flavoring vodka. The rock candy, you leave it in there till it's dissolved. Vodka will dissolve rock candy completely. Things like herbs and stuff, the peel and the herbs, you need to test it, maybe leave it overnight and then do a little taste test in the morning. And if that's enough flavor, you go, cool enough. And if you think it can stay longer, you just go, oh no, that can stay longer. And if it ends up being the herb or peel flavor ends up being too strong, you can easily fix that. You just pour, half the flavored vodka in and then top it up with unflavored vodka, and it's diluted the flavor anyway. So it's always recoverable. Just anything you like the smell or taste of, put it in vodka and see what comes out the other end. Is
vodka
you need
gummy
to follow
bears.
Angry Cocktails on YouTube to learn all these details.
Except then you'll see me saying repeatedly, vodka is bullshit.
We got to remember when you were like, whatever, international stuff is fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't have any Australian stuff this time last year. And that's real different now. I've got well over...
I literally remember watching your video and mocking you from the comments because you had no Australian stuff.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Fair. That was absolutely fair.
And you people say that I'm not an influencer. Look how many of you have been influenced by me.
No, I've been absolutely influenced by Kirsten. Yes.
So vodka gummy bears. Vodka gummy bears.
Yeah, no, that works.
Gummy bears. And the vodka just gets soaked into them and they expand up to little vodka yummies.
My favorite one was someone got one of those giant gummy bears you can get off Costco, and they buried it in a couple of liters of vodka because it's huge, and it absorbed a bunch of it. And then they were having this party where they had a big knife and they were slicing off bits. And so they just got these giant bits of vodka gummy and going nom 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 nom.
That's amazing.
That was really funny. But yes, gummy bears tend to actually absorb and swell up, whereas other things, like I said, rock candy is really good for dissolving because rock candy is just sugar. It's flavored sugar and it will dissolve completely, whereas jellies are designed to not dissolve, basically. They will add some of their flavor to vodka, but they won't dissolve. Hey, you've heard of
Where are you located in the world?
New Jersey.
Let's start there. Oh, okay.
New Jersey.
Where's
that? That's
you can get
New York.
Starward in America.
Yeah, I think two of the first things we'd suggest are whiskey and gin, because there's and there's a whole world of whiskeys that taste really different and gins that taste really different. But you also want something to mix it with, like liqueurs, fruit liqueurs, or vermouth. Oh, look, actually, I reckon some of the best advice I've seen for setting up your home bar is from a YouTube channel called How to Drink. He is, I know, which is a great name, isn't it? Greg from How to Drink. He is very much the top YouTube channel that's purely cocktails. There are some bigger channels that do cocktails occasionally, but he's without a doubt the biggest purely cocktail channel. And I'll see if I can find it. He did one a little while ago called How to Build Your Home Bar, which is the best version of that I've ever seen. I did one, and I think after seeing his, my advice was all wrong, and his is actually much better, which also shows he has like 5 years more experience than me doing this sort of stuff. Let's see if I can find it, and I will share the drink.
The
here
crux
it
of
is.
the video is basically pick a spirit and then pick one or two modifiers.
Yeah.
And start there.
Yeah.
So if you like vodka, buy vodka and get vermouth and make martini. And
vodka martini.
Then get a sweet vermouth and make something that is made with vodka and a sweet vermouth. I can't think of anything because I don't know any vodka drinks. I only know gin drinks.
Vodka tends to be mixed with fruity stuff.
Things.
And juice, which is what's just. But that link I put there is How to Drink's Guide for a Home Bar, and it's pretty much the best advice I've seen on that. But yeah, you got to start with what you like. I'd go broader than vodka. You need to find out, do you like gin or whiskey or brandy or rum? One of the big, or tequila. Like out of those 5, pick one or two that you like or that you can acquire a taste for, and then look up recipes and what modifiers and do I need for those, because it kind of, you get a couple and the amount of drinks you can make kind of expands exponentially, because you can swap things around and go, I'll put that with that and that with that. But I'd say go a bit broader than vodka. Think of the big 5. Which of them do you like? Whiskey, gin, rum, brandy, tequila.
You mean which of those do you like?
Okay. I am pointing the finger at you. Okay, I'm going to be merciless because I've seen you make grammar mistakes, and I'm going to fucking nail you the next time.
Point them out. I want to know. Like, seriously, I don't get offended when people point my grammar mistakes.
I've seen you use compliment wrongly. Okay, I'm calling it now. That's when I remember.
Yeah, go on.
When you meant goes well together, it should be compliment spelled with an E, and you spelt it with an I, which is saying something nice.
That's
to someone.
savage.
Yep.
Yes.
I fucking saved that up, you know.
Well, that's something I didn't know. Like, I didn't realize that. I'm gonna be mindful of that now. Thank you. I really do actually appreciate people correcting my spelling and grammar.
I know you actually say wrong, but
but no, I'm loving the angry pedantry. It's great.
I'll definitely do it. But yes, you got
Do
me
you
on.
have any others saved up? Because
I know you've done more than one, and I was kind of
Yeah.
preoccupied, and I thought I could just do
Just-
that's wrong, and I just let it go. So I'll keep an eye out for it in the future.
yes.
But yeah, me saying them instead of those is me being lazy as fuck, basically, and not thinking the sentence through. But yeah, so the recommendation: choose one or two of the big 5 spirits, and then look up some recipes. Like, you want modifiers, you want like a fruit liqueur or a vermouth or something like that. Get some bitters, even if you just get Angostura aromatic bitters, which is in most bottle shops and whatnot. Oh, cheers. Hey, if you really want to get in, Angry Cocktails is where I make drinks. This is the live streams. We definitely do it here. And speaking of live streams, is that AZ? That's AZ.
That's suddenly a wild AZ appeared.
Hey, John.
Okay. So I'm just sorry, AZ. I'm just helping this guy. The 5 sort of main. You don't necessarily want to go out and get all 5 at once. Get 1 or 2 of whiskey, gin, tequila, brandy, or rum. And then you find out what you like, and you find out what goes with it, and you can start to broaden. Like, my bottle collection there doubled in the last year. And I thought it was big at the start of last year. And yeah, thanks mainly to Kirsten. Local. Also, dude, a fun thing to do, find local distillers. In Jersey and in the surrounding states, you'll have a bunch of local distillers who are probably doing really interesting things. It doesn't hurt to start off, get the big brands or whatever from a shop. That doesn't hurt to ease yourself in. But down the line, you can probably find local distillers who are doing really interesting things. So that's something to look forward to. What have you been up to, young man?
This young man?
Yes.
I've been variously dealing with admin stuff today.
Okay.
And I've been out and about early. And I will have to be in full study mode again tomorrow to fix up a problem that I found. And that's about all. There's nothing really exciting to tell. Yeah. Just
Did you get some
trying to
sleep,
recover as best
AZ?
I can. Pardon?
Did you get some sleep?
Last night, yeah, I got a little bit. Yeah,
Apart from on camera. Hey, who am I being? Who remembers this graffiti character?
Oh no!
What?
Who?
Oh, what's his name?
He dates back to World War II. He's variously called
Yeah.
Foo and
What?
something else.
WOT.
Yeah. Anyway. He's happy to see you. Okay. I'm going to make a cocktail. I'm going to make a drink that would actually be illegal for anyone in a bar to serve you in Australia because I'm a fucking animal. It's got 4 shots of this. That is more than... Well, Kirsten, you'd know this rule. What's the maximum sort of number of shots that's allowed to be served in a drink under RSA?
Technically, you can serve like 3.
Yeah.
But it has to be like 1 drink and you're out of there. It wouldn't be financially viable to make it too many shots. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, this one I found a variant on a Pisco Sour calls for 4 shots of Pisco, which I'm going to make a big point in the video. This is illegal. I'm leading you all astray. This is a bad thing to do. So I'm gonna make that now. So I'm going to turn off my microphone and speaker and let you all run the show while I do that.
Bloody fair enough too.
It's time for us to shine. Hey, AZ.
Well, I tell you who's bloody shining, and it's you, Coin Cursed.
I know I've got a lot of highlighter on my face
And
to try and detract.
It's working for you. You know, I thought I was doing well with the shave, but
Oh,
clearly
you missed out why I've got a full face of like
well, tell
makeup
me
on
why.
today. So I went to an online festival where I had to be on camera at one point. So yes, I did my face. And then I drank gin for 8 hours.
You drove gin.
I drank gin. I didn't drive.
Oh,
Driving
right.
would be
You drank gin
irresponsible.
for 8 hours. Well, I mean, that would suck. I would complain. I would protest against
Oh,
all
and I
of
get to
that.
do it again tomorrow. How exciting, guys.
Fuck. So what is it, like a massive national gin tasting of some description?
Yep. Yep.
Excellent.
I showed the gang my my giant box.
Well, I've done that a couple of times and people have said, call the police.
Look,
Oh,
see?
giant box. Oh, I see. Giant box of gin.
Yes. What did you think a giant box of?
I went there too, AD. Don't worry.
Thanks, Dr. Abigail.
Oh, I laid that one down on purpose. Don't think that I didn't know what I was doing.
Appreciate it. Having the door open for me so I could walk straight in.
Exactly.
You have a giant box of what? The same gins or different gins?
Different gins. 60
Wow.
different gins.
50.
So I drank 60. 60.
And you drank.
How can there be
30
so much variation in gin that there are 60 of them and they're different?
Yeah.
So
it's all the botanicals.
There's over 300 gin distilleries in Australia. Each of those gin distilleries probably makes anywhere between on average, between 2 and 3 gins. Sometimes some make 9. One of the gin distilleries that was part of the tasting, they made 12, and another one made 9. That's a lot of gin. That's a lot of gin.
Yes. That is technically
okay,
a lot of
so
gin.
what's the base spirit of gin? Is it like potatoes, like vodka, or is it turnips, or?
So 90% of gin is based on a wheat spirit, so neutral wheat spirit.
So neutral wheat.
About 5% of gin is made with a grape base spirit. Yep. And the last 5 is probably made with a cane based spirit. So realistically, it could be anything as a base spirit. It's mostly wheat. But I know one distillery that makes their wine, which is what you distill into liquor, out of a kale macerate.
Okay. If you wanted to put kale in something, and you could say it's organic, and you could say
bitches love it.
Gin.
Doesn't taste like, so it doesn't taste like kale at all. Because once you've put it through the still 4 times and taken it up to 94% ethanol,
doesn't taste like anything.
Tastes like anything. It tastes
like burning.
Tastes like burning.
How do you get? Okay, so normally distilling using a still or fractional distillation can only get you as high as about 90%, isn't it? Or is it 96%?
Okay, so
you can get to 96.
Okay.
It depends how tall your column is.
You do it again and again and again, and you
have a really big
but there is a hard limit based on the chemistry and quantum mechanics.
So neutral wheat spirit that you buy from the manildra ethanol plant that is made for making food grade ethanol comes in at 96.1%.
Yeah.
It's
When you
96,
purchase it,
97.
So after
96,
that, you need like
96.1.
really expensive equipment to get the percentage up higher, and they don't use they don't use
You can refine it by electrolyzing
they use
the
a different
last of the
technique.
water out.
Yeah, so the thing is that you take that 96% Manildra spirit that you purchase, and then you put it through your own still. You can run it through one last time to correct it if that's your prerogative. I don't understand why, because it tastes like absolutely nothing except burning, because it's 96% alcohol. And then you put that neutral spirit through your still to make it legally your spirit.
Yeah.
With the botanicals. And now the fun fact that I've always enjoyed about Australia is that in Europe there's about 1,300 to 1,500 different herbs and spices and things that you can distill to make flavor in their sort of region. In Australia, it's more like 20,000 different things that you can distill to make flavor. So that gives you all the things that you would possibly need, and like a million combinations. Actually, it's way more than that. I can't do the maths on it. So given that you legally have to have juniper, and then you have, even if you add only one like other ingredient plus orris root to bind the two together, that's like 11 billion different permeations, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's this is what did you say? 25,000 factorial.
Yeah.
Hang on.
I can't maths. Maths is not my strong suit.
Okay.
Making alcohol is
Yeah.
What did you say? It was 25,000, right?
like 20,000.
Okay, so 20,000. All right. So 20,000, 20,000, 1, 2, 3. Factorial, which is the exclamation mark. Where the fucking hell is it?
So, Mr. Grant Gregory, yeast is only used in the distillation of whiskey, and that has a different shape still. So, whiskey is in a pot still that usually has a gooseneck. So it goes up in a triangle and then like slants off to the side. Whereas a gin still is usually in a round pot with a column, and the length of your column has something to do with how many different like distillations there are. The other thing is that triple distilled just means that it goes through the still 3 times. Gin usually never makes any claim about how many distillations, because when you column distill, it may technically go through the still 250 times because of the weight of the molecules moving through the plates. So, yeah. And lots of distilleries in Australia win hundreds of awards every year, which is super exciting because as a category, spirits in Australia is growing and expanding. Ever since Sullivan's Cove won Best Whiskey in the World in 2012, that really put Australian distilleries on the map. And ever since 2012, genuinely, there's probably 2 new distilleries every week, which is super exciting, but very expensive because I keep buying gin.
Okay, so I've got a number on that. It's error.
Told
I'm
you,
gonna have to do it.
the limit does not exist.
The chip basically won't handle the exponent because it goes too far out of range.
Factorial. Where's the
So,
factor?
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I was going to give you some fantastical number,
So,
to the
according to my calculator, 20,000 factorial is overflow.
Right. Okay. Okay. So yours
which
is
is very similar to error.
No.
But
Yours is better. Yours is just overflow. Mine is error. Yours is gone. I know it's a big number. I just can't hold it. Mine's gone.
Yes.
I've shit myself and run away.
I've got a graphing calculator. Let me get it. That'll handle it because it does exponents. Oh no, everything is falling. Where's my calculator? Oh, for fuck's sake.
Hey Siri.
Oh, is that it?
No, wrong
that's
Siri. No.
No one's just fine with me going, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's just a lot, and I can't find my graphing calculator. Damn it, because I haven't used it in years. I sworn it was in there. No. I'll find it later.
Hey Siri. Not you, phone. I want the computer because it's got a bigger chip.
It won't, Siri, because you're on the screen.
Either. Okay. Hey Siri. What's 20,000 factorial?
I found an answer. It's displayed on your iPhone.
Fuck me. It is displayed on my iPhone. And it comes from our friends at Wolfram Alpha. I shall read it you now. All right.
Yep.
This is the amount of combinations you can have with Australian. Where did it go? It went away. Hey Siri. What's 20,000 factorial?
I found an answer.
Okay, here we go.
On your iPhone.
All right. Okay, so it's 1.819203034413276417 Oh, fuck, it went away before I... Anyway, the exponent was 7,373. And I've only got through half of the digits. So it's a big-ish number of combinations.
It's pretty great, which basically means that it doesn't really matter how many gin distilleries open in Australia. Each gin distillery, because the other thing is that I can have one set of, like, I can have one recipe, you can have another recipe, and because I put in 2% more of one herb or spice, that's a different, permutation, and it tastes different.
Well,
so realistically,
not only that,
Holy
we can just keep going.
Down her gin recipe, and everyone gets a slightly different one, and everyone goes, "I've got the true secret to Grandma's gin recipe." Meanwhile, she's going, no one's got the real one, because they forgot to put wombat poo in. And it makes all the difference. So, Dr. Abigail, you're binding a book.
I am, yes. Oh, it's 1.8 times 10 to the power of 77,337.
Is that a
Which
lot?
is
That's quite a
that is
bit.
more than the age of the universe.
Yeah.
Like past and future. Like
Yeah.
literally the heat death of the universe will come before that number. It's
So
it's
there
a
we
big
go.
number.
What was I arguing
Does
about?
that answer the question quantifiability enough for you?
Yes.
Yes, that's the word I was
Yes, it
searching
does.
for.
Yes.
Oh, me? Oh, yeah.
No, I was asking Dr. Abigail because she asked me what makes every gin different. And the thing is that there's just so many combinations that it is not logically possible to make the same gin.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
it is,
if
but
you started now, the monks at the Towers of Hanoi would beat you before you went through all the combinations of gin botanicals. And they'd be looking at you going, and then you go, well, that sun's getting big and red in the picture, isn't it? So maybe you should stop fucking smirking, you Vietnamese shit. I'm here in my asbestos fucking clothes. Sure, I'll die of asbestos poisoning, but you're wearing saffron robes. So fucking one of us is going to be around longer than the other one. Oh, is that a coronal mass ejection? Bye.
Well, at least you stayed conscious while I was away this time. But, I'm not sure what's been happening, but I think so. This is my
how many permutations of Australian gin botanicals you could make to use them all. It was a lot.
Thousands? Yeah.
That was
so the actual number is 1.8 times 10 to the power of 77,300 and something.
Bugger me.
Kirsten, there's a question in
It's
the
a
chat
big number.
that you could answer.
There is some rounding in that number because I read out a bigger number.
A has a good question about different sorts of gins. What would, and by the way, A, Kirsten is our resident gin expert. I have learned little from her in the last year, but I do defer to Kirsten in matters spiritus.
Yes, absolutely. You can train yourself. The other really interesting thing is that lots of gin botanicals are seasonal. So you've got to get them when they're the right season and then manage the flavor blending. I'm not particularly skilled at these things. I know when I like it and I know when I don't, and that's as far as it goes for me. But where I am lucky enough to work, there is a guy whose job it is to analyze the gin and make sure that we get consistent flavor and consistent profile, so that every time you get a bottle of what we make, it's the same. On the other hand, there are a bunch of gin distilleries who are like, we're a small distillery, we don't have enough people to do that, so you get what comes out of the bottle when it comes out, and that's the beauty of what we do.
Yeah.
So a handful of that, a couple of teaspoons of that, a jigger of that, and stir it all in and whack it through the distiller last time, and you'll be right, mate.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's the beauty of that sort of craft distillation. It's so small distilleries. It's usually a husband and wife team. Usually people who are having a tree change, so they're a little bit older and they really care about what they're doing, and so they really like everything is done individually and by hand, and that's pretty amazing. And then like it's really fun to be where I am, and you know, we've got really expensive equipment and like the best distillers in the country. Our master distiller just won like Young Distiller of the Universe. So that's pretty amazing.
Is that an actual
Yes, I remember
award?
when
Come
I
on.
had that.
No,
Ooh.
he
The
got
Centauri Mega Gin is pretty nice.
Well, I got Young
From Alpha
Distiller of the
Centauri.
Universe once when I was 5, and I was
yeah,
pretty
he
chuffed.
won Global Distiller of the Year.
Fuck me. No, that is actually pretty
Nice.
fucking good.
Yeah,
That is
like I
pretty
said,
good.
it's a good honour, and when you're young,
Yes.
you don't really appreciate it. But now, as I'm older, I'm going, good on you, son.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I've
so
trod there
like
before
he's
you,
incredibly
but
talented, and I am just a little bit intimidated by him, but I also think he's just a little bit intimidated by me. So it's great when we have meetings with each other, because we're both like, I'm used to being the smartest person in the room, and you are challenging me.
I always try to surround myself with people who I consider smarter than me, because like you learn so much, and I just let my leave my ego at the door.
I don't do that.
One day I'll grow up and do
I
that,
try and
but
bring it on.
unfortunately my
And
ego knows
I'm
no
speaking
bounds.
over Kirsty now. I'm speaking right over the top of her, because I don't want to leave my ego at the door. I want to go into smarter people than me and go, look at me, massive cock, and smart ass. And they go, well, you know, I'm a doctor of medicine. And I go, pa and fi to you, quack. Hail thyself, physic. Are you going past the infirmary on your way home? Well, fucking stitch this. Anyway,
Just going to answer A's
surrounding
question.
yourself with very smart people is the best thing to do, because you can ask all kinds of questions. You should see my YouTube history. When ASIO finally raids me for kiddie porn, they're going to go, he's the strangest pedophile we've ever met, from drag racing to astrophysics. Anyway...
That's a writer's joke. They're worried about their browser history, like the FBI's going, we've got one. Look, they've looked up how to dissolve a body in lye, how to remove traces of a murder, how to hide a body, and then looked a bit further. Oh no, they also researched when the equinox was in 1978 and what the population of this obscure city in South America. No, they're a writer. They're
right. Boring. Hey, Kirst.
Yes, AZ.
As I understand it, the idea of getting the high-end alcohol is so that you can macerate your botanicals in with it, and a fair amount of them. So it
depends on the kind of still that you have. So you get the high-end alcohol, and then you have several options. You have macerate.
Yeah.
You have put it in fresh and then turn the still on. So macerate means leave in the alcohol for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Put it in fresh, turn the still on with your botanicals in the pot. Then you can have a vapor basket, or you can have the kit that we have, and there are 11 different ways that you can set the still up to do different things, which is pretty cool, which means that we've got juniper 11 different ways.
Yeah, fully. And that's through fractional cracking, or through temperature control.
Temperature control, usually.
Right. I was also going to say, when A was asking before about, learning the differences between gin. I'm a gin amateur. I had like, what did I have? I think I had Tanqueray gin sitting on the thing last year. And that's one of the ones, Kirsten's not going to spare your feelings. If you have a shit big brand of something and you go, what can I do with this? The answer will be tip it down the drain. So I know. Kirsten doesn't mess about.
How do I serve Gordon's pink gin as drain cleaner down the drain?
It would strip the lime scale straight off, I think. But yeah,
it would. Excellent lime scaling.
Yeah, but
that reminds me, I've got to get some exit knoll tomorrow.
Good plan.
But I was also going to say, I had some lovely Bombay Sapphire, and I had it sort of straight with no tonic, and it was lovely and sweet. And I didn't expect that. I expected it to be all
dry. And a lot of people who don't like gin will talk about it being like pine and possibly even sort of medicinal sort of taste. But I want to say about the different things. Like, I'm a total gin amateur, but I've got some little sample bottles. I've got, I don't know, somewhere between 6 and 10 different gins there, which is like doesn't even register on Kirsten's radar, that many gins. And they do the range from, like, to be gin, it has to be juniper based. Particularly the higher alcohol gins tend to be a bit more juniper forward. They go particularly well with tonic in my book. But I've got one, that are citrus forward. Like, seriously, you drink the Teddy and the Fox, have a sip of that. The citrus is so up front in that. Like, I'd always heard people refer to citrus forward gins, and I'd tried them and go, that's not particularly citrusy. And I tried Teddy and the Fox, and I'm going, that's really in a good way.
Citrusy.
That's really citrusy.
I tried a citrus gin today from a company in Western Australia called Old Macdonald Gin, which they shortened to OMG, and like, I quite enjoy their packaging. It's cute. And they individually hand peeled 250 kilos of mandarin for this gin, and literally you lifted the cup to your face and it hit. I probably had about 5 mils in my glass, and it was like a citrus punch to the face.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah. And
well, you'd bloody want that if you were hand peeling fucking mandarins all day and all night.
Exactly.
It was so good.
How many tons?
And they were like, we're not doing it again, so I had to buy some.
Yeah. So A's talking about you'd want to try Teddy and the Fox. Look, I think you'd be hard pressed to get any Australian gins in Jersey. But I go back
can tell you of one.
Find local distillers. What's one, Kirst?
Think of it.
Archie Rose.
Nope.
Oh, no. Oh, Four Pillars. Four Pillars. That's right. They're pretty big on export.
Distributed in the States. I dislike supporting them at all, but if you want to try Australian, that's what you have to do in the States.
Yeah. But also, you should try and find local distillers, because there's bound to be.
Absolutely.
Like, I got a little last year I got 2 different seasonal sample packs from this maker they call Tiny Bear Distillery. They have super cute little cartoon.
The ones who make kale wine.
Yeah. And like, when they say it, like, their Christmas pack, there was one that was just like a quite dry gin they called Australian Jumper. There was one they called the Ginger Gin, and you taste it and go, yep, that's ginger. And there was one that was called Christmas Pudding, and you taste it and go, yep, that's Christmas pudding. That's got all the sort of herbs and spices and citrus peel sort of flavors that you get in a Christmas pudding. So, man, gin makers can do whatever the hell they want, basically. And that's why I say try and find a local distiller, because they're probably doing something really interesting.
I've had so many gins today that I literally can't even think what I want.
Well, I'm interested. My 4 shots of Pisco in this giant Pisco sour just tasted
that went
like
down really fast.
It did, which is actually really dangerous. But anyway, this is like when I was making the video, I said, because this is like actually illegal, I should probably put a warning on the video. So here's the warning. Watch out. You know, it's like,
Nice warning. Nice warning.
yeah.
I'm impressed
So,
with your warning, sir.
but
From now on,
yeah,
we'll watch
so I'm
out.
clearly inebriated at the moment because I just had 4 shots of 40% alcohol in a relatively short time frame.
You'd be right.
Well, I'm not drinking because I haven't eaten. Well, I'm bookbinding, and I also haven't eaten today, so
Oh,
I
damn.
should probably get onto that.
Yeah, that's something you should probably do. I just
Well,
remembered.
the thing is, I've had this migraine for the past like 3 days.
Oh, goddamn.
And yeah, it messes with me. Also, I'm getting used to my new reading glasses, which without them, I can't do fine detail.
Right.
And yeah, I'm still getting used to them, and they're making me a bit dizzy as well. So
New glasses will do that. I'm kind of
Yeah.
overdue to have an eye test and see if they need to change my prescription.
Yep.
I might do that, go into the city sometime next week. And I forgot
I have a
distillery that I'd like to recommend to you, Angry, which is Great Ocean Road.
Great Ocean Road. Okay.
So I have a voucher for Specsavers in Northcote if you're interested, but that's a bit far out of your way.
Because I have private health insurance.
Okay.
It will almost definitely, and I basically get new optical cover every year, and now we're in a new year. It'll probably cover the complete cost of a pair of glasses. So, but thank you very much for the offer.
You're welcome.
I forgot I had.
Yeah, like.
Sorry, I got the new old fashioned, or no, sorry, that's the bloody Starwood. This is the Antica Fashionista from the Bar Americano in the city. Which, as we learned, Abigail does not like the spicy rye whiskies. Does like the Starwood whiskey, not so much rye. Because you didn't, when I was getting Abigail drunk, saying, taste all these different whiskies and say which one is the best.
Oh, God. I mean, yeah.
I'm sure
I don't remember. I do not remember the Uber drive home. Like, it was, a blur.
Yeah. Like that.
I can't wait to take you guys to distilleries. I'm so excited.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Next Friday. Yes.
That's in 2 weeks.
I'm excited.
No, 1 week.
Oh, is it?
Is it what? 2 weeks?
It's 2 weeks.
12th. Sorry,
it's 2 weeks.
I'm coming down for a sneaky weekend with my husband the weekend before.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
As soon as there were no like restrictions, my husband was like, "I'm on Webjet, booking you in to come visit because I missed you more than I thought I would."
Oh,
that's very sweet.
But also completely understandable.
Yes, he does, doesn't he?
It's okay. I was also on Webjet looking at prices.
Yeah.
So it was like minds.
I'm just planning. Okay. If I'm going to have a Bar Americano drink, I should do it in my Bar Americano glass. This very unusual glassware that I bought from Bar Americano. And it's got etched in the rim, drink less, drink better, which I'm clearly following tonight, having just had 4 shots of Pisco in a single drink. But
absolutely.
Okay. I just got to rinse my stirring glass.
So, Dr. Abigail.
Yeah.
Why are you binding a book?
Okay, so a friend of mine, her son ended up in hospital, right?
They do that.
And yes, and it was mental health related. And so what she did is post on Facebook for everyone to like post a message with love and support and all that. And this book is a printout of all those posts.
Oh, that's
Oh, wow,
fantastic.
that's so cute.
Nice.
That is fantastic. I wondered what
And
you're doing.
so-
Thank you for asking the question, Aidsy. I never asked.
Yeah. And so the girl I've been seeing, Katrina, she put her hand up to turn it all into this book, and then she sat on it for 6 weeks because she has ADHD, and then I come along and I say, well, we could do this and this and this, and well, she asked me for some motivational help to get the book together, and I just come in with all these ideas and the ability to follow through, and she's like so grateful that I'm doing this now, and like so amazed that I've like hand bound. She was just gonna like print them out, cut them up, and stick them into a notebook. But this
Which
idea
still
is
works well.
yeah, that's still a great idea.
But this is going to be awesome.
This is next
You get a
level.
book
Yeah.
with How cool are you?
Because
Yes.
why do something when you can go extra?
And
Yeah,
then
exactly.
way extra.
Exactly.
laid out properly. You know.
Yes, and so yeah, we spent a couple of days formatting. Oh shit! I've just formatting it online in Illustrator, and then I printed it out on my printer at home because it does double-sided.
Oh, good.
And yeah, and I have the ability to point
book layout, as in.
Oh, I had to
go with 122.
So
Sorry.
There's a process called imposition when you have a PDF, you have to rearrange every page into signature order.
Yes.
For printout. It's called imposition, and usually the software is super expensive.
Yes.
But I found someone had written one that did the job, but it wasn't super user friendly. So, but I've used it before. When I'm finished this, I'm going to write my own software to do it, and it's going to be a bit better than.
Well. Hey.
Yeah, because I like reinventing the wheel.
But sort is also
quick sort forever.
It gives you a very compact data set at the end.
And what did you say? Which sort?
Stalin sort is very useful because it gives you a very compact data set at the end.
Why? Because it's killed off most of the data.
90%, 95%,
yeah,
often 98% of the data's gone. So you're really having to average 2 or 3 numbers.
I can see how that would save time.
It'd save time. It looks good on company records. Compared to last year, we are 15. 15 what? 15. Did you want to ask me some more regressive questions? Some anti-revolution questions? Did you want to stop clapping after 15 minutes? Huh? So, yeah, bubble sort is best sort. It's like I love
look, you've trolled me with this before, so I'm getting an immunity to it now.
He's trying to hurt you.
Yeah, but it forever hurts my soul.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. The only good sort is a recursive sort.
I basically decided to go that way among a few computer scientists for fun because I liked the form of My Little Pony, whatever pony is best pony, and then go whatever sort is best sort, and watch them leave their minds. And
that'll do it.
Leave them as opposed to lose them.
For these scientists, straight into the I'm going to punch you. But what
Yeah.
happened to the
Yeah.
Socratic method? No, I'm just going to beat your head in with this fucking rock.
That's in 2001
You know,
Socratic
I have
dialogue.
2
Yeah.
postdoctoral degrees, and I'm going to go right back to 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Mm.
I found a stick, and that's the only tool I need.
Yeah.
Was it a piece of bone? It was a piece of bone that the
Yeah, it picks up a
Yeah,
bone
it was a
and
bone.
beats another
Yeah.
hominid to death with the bone. Yeah.
that he hit his skull with and worked out, I can hit a fucking living skull with this.
Yeah.
That'll be fucking awesome.
Yes.
Oh, that waterhole is fucking mine. Let's go,
Yes.
kids.
And the arms
Come
race
on for a
started.
swim.
Yeah.
But it's their
Yes.
waterhole. Not for long.
Yeah.
We'll get something to eat too. I read a story about the Windigo. And do you know what the Windigo is?
Is that the
No idea.
Native American spirit?
Well, yes. It's
Windigo.
It's a documented mental illness, and it's only been
Sorry, I'll be
known
back in-
as 400 cases ever.
Yeah.
And it is if you're in the Algonquin tribe,
Yeah.
and you and your mate go out hunting in winter time for elk or some other game animal, and you bust out, and it's been a couple of days and you're getting hungry, and you're looking at him across the fire and he's looking at you across the fire, and you're both thinking nom 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 nom. And so one of you kills the other one and eats him, and then the Windigo comes into you, and you have to go back to the tribe and eat all of them. And they either kill you 85%, or make you eat bear fat until you vomit out your heart of ice, thus getting rid of the Windigo spirit. And in what is it? 15% of cases that works just fine. But in the other cases, they just killed them first.
Jesus.
Didn't want to take much chances.
Yeah.
However, if you could bind them down and make them drink bear fat, eat bear fat, because apparently bear fat's fairly solid. It's a bit like chunky custard.
I imagine it would be a pretty musty sort of fat, actually.
Oh, I'd hurl.
Very, very
let it go
flavorful.
rancid. I mean, it's a bear, right?
Yeah.
And it's a big bear. And
I mean, if you get one that's hibernating, that would be a lot of fat.
It's taken a little while to get the fat out of the bear. And, you've got it stored, non-refrigerated, and it's gone a little bit, a bit past its use by. And you get that into you, son. And I don't think the Windigo is going to be into it. And so
didn't they use it for pemmican though?
Yeah, but little bits, not fucking lots and lots. I mean, they're talking about fucking making you drink 4 or 6 liters of the shit.
Sounds gross.
That's disgusting.
Well, that's the idea. So you vomit up your heart of ice.
Pretty disgusting.
And it works. When they bother to do it. Otherwise, they just kill them. Because every time, apparently, they come back and say, yes, Running River's not coming because I killed and ate him.
Yeah,
I have
that's fair.
bits of him in my bag if you'd like a bit.
Yeah.
And usually they go, you're going to be wanting to kill us and eat us now, aren't you? Yes, I am. We're going to kill you now. Oh, that wasn't how I was going to run it. And
or eat the bear fat. So sorry, Abigail, what were you going to say then, Abigail?
Who would ever admit to eating someone like that?
Oh, heaps of people.
Every time they come
heaps
back.
of people.
Every time they come back, they say, I ate him.
Yeah.
So
the famous convict case in Tasmania. a bunch of convicts escaped the Van Diemen's Land inescapable convict thing, and they only caught one of them. And they said, "All right, where's everyone else?" And I was like, "I ate them." And no, you didn't. They're still out there. I went, "No, really. We went a bit nuts, started killing each other, and I was the last survivor." And they went, "Oh, you're just covering for them." And they never found any of the others. Same guy escaped again a year or two later with a couple of people, and they caught up to him. And they found him. He actually had one of the last surviving one on the campfire roasting. And they went, "Oh, you weren't lying, motherfucker."
Well, the
That's
other thing about that
so
same
strange.
case is they talked to some local Aborigines who were watching them the whole time.
Yeah.
And watching them eat each other and going, "These guys are fucked up. Keep away from them. Do not interact with them. Do not approach. Just call police."
Yeah. And it's like the enforcement is saying to the locals, "Why didn't you do something? Stop them." Go, "Dude, they were eating each other. They were fucking crazy. We didn't want anything to do with them."
If fuckers are going to eat each other, then what the fuck are they going to do to me? Oh, black, for Christ's sake.
And it was
so
just
they
like,
tried
no.
to tell the white authorities, "These crazy motherfuckers are eating each other. Just thought you'd like to know that."
Yeah.
And the white authorities went, yeah, whatever. And then the guy comes out of the forest going, "Yeah, I ate everyone." And they're going, "Didn't the black fellas say that?" "Oh, yeah, they're black fellas. Don't say anything." And then they said it again. They said, "You know that guy who eats people? He's doing it again."
Yes.
And
He's just
this
out there
time
eating people.
We really should catch up to him earlier. And they did, and they found him roasting someone, and they went.
It was just so funny because they never believed him. They thought he was covering for the ones who were still at large. And when he escaped the second time, they found him, and he was actually mid-meal, and they're like, "Oh,
he's deeply into long pork." It's disturbing, but Australian doctors are still finding Papua New Guinea Highlanders who've got kuru.
Which you get from eating human flesh.
Human brains.
That's right. And that's a specific thing they do too. Yes.
It's
like I'm taking his brains.
You can only get it from eating human brains who've got kuru. And you can only get kuru from eating human brains. So all of the Highlander tribes say, "Oh, no, there's no head hunting anymore. That fucking shit's over. That shit's gone." And then they go, "You've got kuru." "Really? Oh, that's odd."
Okay, so what is kuru, and how do you spell it?
Kuru.
How do you spell it? Yeah.
I think it's either Koru or Kuro.
But that's also what always I found surreal when Pauline Hanson was having one of her goes trying to slander Indigenous Australians, saying, "Oh, they were awful. It was all abuse and murder, and they were cannibals." And it's like, there's almost no evidence at all of cannibalism in Indigenous Australians. And if you are going to say cannibalism is a sign of a terrible, degraded race, I'm sorry, but absolutely incontrovertible, conclusive evidence of cannibalism exists among white people only 150 years ago. So,
it's a spongiform encephalopathy.
It's like mad cow disease.
Yeah, prions. Yep. Okay, that makes sense.
So I saw a funny TikTok that was like, "Look, this is a risk that we're going to run if we're going to eat the rich. So maybe we should just compost them."
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No. You just carve off their buttocks, and if they're like chunky like me, their thighs as well, because that's just some good quality meat there. You definitely don't want to get into organs or brains, just the excess bits.
No, not the sweet meats, just the long pork.
That happened a lot in Russia around the siege of Stalingrad and beyond in World War II. You'd find various partisans from either side would hang someone they caught from a lamppost, and a day or two after they'd been hanging from the lamppost, their butt cheeks and thighs would have been carved off.
Dear.
It's just like it was desperate times. Like 1 million people, million civilians died in the siege of Stalingrad, and it was.
Isn't the opening chapter of Frankenstein about eating babies and how that would be a sustainable source of meat and a solution to the issues of unwed mothers?
That was.
I'm pretty sure it is.
You're probably right.
Satire by Swift.
Swift was what was the name of that one? It was about how we should eat Irish babies. Because it would solve the problem.
A solution to the Irish problem.
Yes.
And it was how the Irish should eat their babies.
A modest proposal. A modest.
That's what it's called. A modest proposal.
That was Jonathan Swift's satire because he was repulsed by the way the English were pretending that they weren't responsible for the ravages being inflicted upon Ireland, and all these people going, "Oh, what's to be done about the thing?" And he goes, "I have a modest proposal: eat Irish babies." And it was one of the most savage bits of satire.
I'm pretty sure that is, well, at least in the copy of Frankenstein that I read in Year 12 literature, that's the beginning.
Probably in there because Swift established the idea as a joke. So I remember watching, there were these sort of 90s, early noughties animations on Adult Swim. If you're familiar with the current animation Archer, the people who make Archer made a bunch of animations in the same style before that, and it was piss takes of the Hanna-Barbera cartoons they grew up with. They're like mine and Aidsy's age, and they grew up with C-Lab 2020. So there was this piss take called C-Lab 2021. There was Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. The 60s cartoon was just called Birdman, and Space Ghost was another weird one. And they did one where Space Ghost had a chat show, a late night chat show. Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
Yep.
But C-Lab 2021.
Coast was awesome.
Yeah. I loved C-Lab 2021. They had one where one of the female characters thought she was pregnant or was trying to get pregnant. And one of the guys who's a real fucking weirdo in the C-Lab says, "Hey, I've got an idea. Here's something you should read." And it's a copy of Jonathan Swift's A Modest Proposal. And she says, "What's this?" And he says, "A modest proposal." And he says, "What's it about?" And he goes, "Eating babies." And she goes, "What?" And he's just taking it literally. And he's just going, "Yes, have a baby. I want to eat babies." And he's just gone on this whole rant about how tender babies would be. And just, everyone's looking at him going, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" You've taken a piece of satire as if it's a cookbook, and it's just like,
how to cook for 40 people.
Yes, that is a classic sci-fi. That Simpsons piss take of the aliens in the book, How to Serve Man and whatnot. There's a classic sci-fi short story from the 50s or 60s where these guys have a first.
It was a Twilight Zone episode, wasn't it?
It was originally a short story. And these guys who've done a first contact with aliens, and he's trying to decipher their language. And he says, "Oh, the book they keep reading, I've been able to work out it's called How to Serve Man." And it's like, "Oh, cool, they want to be friends. That's excellent." And this guy keeps trying to study the book, and he comes back to everyone else really mortified a while later. And they go, "What's the problem?" "Oh, the book? How to Serve Man?" And they go, yeah, that's cool. No, it's a cookbook. It is actually a cookbook.
Yes. Well, they did a sequel in Jordan Peele's
Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone, yeah.
I still haven't
did a
seen
sequel.
That. I've heard it's pretty good.
It is, yeah. It is.
Oh my God, Abigail. Okay, we have to nerd out now because I finished season 1 of Below Decks. Holy fuck.
Oh, cool. It's great, isn't it?
the second last episode, the movie episode, like they do some holodeck
Yes.
stuff, which I love because holodeck goes wrong is a Star Trek trope that I love. But they do one where someone reprograms a holodeck thing so it runs as a movie, and there's such good piss takes of the Star Trek movies. Like the first Star Trek movie, Star Trek the Motion Picture, was boring as fuck because they tried really hard to show off their special effects. There's this absurdly long tracking shot of the Enterprise the first time you see it. It goes like for 2 or 3 minutes. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And so they do that in this. They just keep doing this really long, dramatic tracking shot revealing the ship. And it's like, if you haven't seen Star Trek the Motion Picture, you'll just sit there going, what the fuck are they doing? If you've seen Star Trek the Motion Picture,
hot take.
Yeah.
Hot take. I enjoy the motion picture. There's a director's cut that's better, and it explains more. But there is also a cut of the motion picture set with very little dialogue. It only goes for about 20 minutes. Set to the soundtrack from Tron Legacy by Daft Punk.
Oh wow!
And it's brilliant. It's so good.
Yeah. I don't hate the motion picture, but its single biggest failing was this obsession with showing off their special effects. Like the tracking shots of the Enterprise that goes on for minutes is just fucking embarrassing.
I like space porn like that. I like starship porn. So I was digging it. I liked it.
I thought the Spock journey into the center of Vija was a bit let's be 2001 A Space Odyssey.
It was.
Yeah.
I appreciated the homage, but I just went, come on, guys. Come on. You've made your point. Now just fucking get there.
Yeah.
You're not trying to fill time.
That they had trouble being concise. And the other thing, in the Below Decks animation in their movie episode, after taking the piss out of this Enterprise shot, then the rest of it is just J.J. Abrams lens flares. Like,
yes.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes. It's just hilarious. And also, I thought the season finale, and not going to do any spoilers in case anyone watches it, but the season finale was genuinely exciting and dramatic, and intense, and was so well. Like, I'm watching the season finale and I'm going, this is full on. I'll do one little spoiler. They destroy a Federation ship and kill everyone on it. Like, bad guys do that. And it's like, oh, they're not fucking around. They just, like, because this was a light-hearted animation, and they just fucking killed everyone on a Federation ship. And the stakes are pretty high. But yeah, it was genuinely exciting. That season finale had me really amped up. It's very good.
I can't remember the name of it now, but I saw an animation on YouTube. It was a short, and it was done with CGI, and it was a sci-fi. And there's a spaceship and a little girl who's blonde and blue-eyed, anime eyes, comes in, and Mum goes, "How are you, sweetie?" She goes, "Great. Here's my picture for my last day at kindergarten, which I'm graduating on the same day that Grandpa's retiring from Space Force and Daddy's getting his promotion." And in the corner, there's this rating or someone who just fucking bursts into tears and goes, "No!" And in the next 5 seconds, the ship blows up.
Oh wow!
Because obviously that would happen.
Yeah. All right. I'm making another drink as we speak. But yeah, Below Decks, like Abigail was talking that up for ages. Now I finally watched it. It lives up to it. It's very good.
Where is Below Decks available?
Legally, it's on Prime Video. and I should probably share a password with you at some point, so
Cool.
you can look at it. That's only recently. Like I kept complaining, like it came out. How long ago did it come out, Abigail?
Early last year.
Yeah,
like a year ago.
Literally just a week or two ago was the first time it was possible to watch it legally in Australia, which is stupid as hell.
Yeah.
Please excuse me for a moment.
That's okay. You're excused. I'm just in the mood to make another drink, and if this works, it's going to be on my cocktail channel in a week. I'm going to use my audio for it in my version of a Belmont Breeze.
In a Belmont Breeze.
Sorry, what was that, Kirsten?
What's in a Belmont Breeze?
The default recipe is 1.5 ounces of whiskey. They say bourbon or rye. So I think I'll use the Archie Rose rye.
I was going to say, I hear the world's best rye is in your possession.
It surely is. Surely is. So, and then 1/2 ounce of sherry, which I have in the fridge, 1/2 ounce of lemon juice. Then it's like simple syrup and orange juice and cranberry juice. I'm going to use my, this is the wrong one. That's the lemon lime cordial. I've got my orange mandarin cordial here. Need to use that. I haven't used this in a drink yet, so this is my orange mandarin cordial. So I'm going to do that instead of simple syrup and orange juice on mint leaves, and I've got some mint leaves here. So Mrs. Angry picked some stuff from the garden, so I'm going to use some of it. Right, let's got a nice mint sprig here. It says 5 leaves, so okay, 1.
I'm going to take a break and get some food because I haven't
That's a
eaten
good
today.
idea.
I'll be back in a sec.
All right, some mint leaves. Now, so yes, Archie Rose, because you're saying this literally won like best in the world.
Yeah, world's best rye whiskey from the World Whiskey Awards, which is like there's a couple of tiers of awards, so not all awards are created equal.
Yeah.
So San Francisco World Spirits Award,
Yeah.
the London Spirits Awards, and the World Awards, World Gin Awards, the World Whiskey Awards. They're like the top tier. And Hong Kong Spirits Awards.
Okay.
So if you're one of those, you're actually like really good.
Okay.
And then there's a bunch of like minor awards where pretty much everyone who enters gets an award.
Right.
And like some of them still get thousands of entries. So like if you come platinum or double gold or something in one of those, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's some awards that are just like garbage.
Yeah.
Someone asked on one of the forums, should I waste my money sending like my brand new gin off to this award ceremony? And like 4 different people like tagged me to answer the question. And I looked at the award and I messaged the guy and I was like, so here's a couple of criteria that I can see from the award like breakdown. Like if you were planning to do this thing or this thing or this thing, then maybe it would be worthwhile like entering this awards. And he was like, I'm not planning on doing any of those 3 things. And then I was like, okay, enter these 6 awards because these are Australian awards and they are like, easier. Like they're good marketing tools in the market that you're planning on launching into.
Right.
Like don't send your gin that's only available in Victoria, Australia, to a US Bartender's Choice Award.
Right.
Like, don't. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a little tip, and ADSy will have been aware of things like this in the arts and comedy and whatnot. A lot of award things are done literally to get people to pay to attend the awards ceremony. That's a thing.
So a lot of spirits awards are like, pay $450 and send me 2 bottles of your spirit for me to tell you if it's good.
Yes.
That's right.
A lot of them are scams.
And then
In
you
fact,
can purchase gold medal stickers to use in your on your bottles.
You know what my
can.
favorite version of that is? The Golden Globes. The Golden Globes are complete bullshit. It says it comes from the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, which sounds impressive, but it's literally just, it was invented by some Hollywood socialites who wanted all the big stars to come to a party they threw. So they invented awards thing, and it just kept going. But the Golden Globes are complete fucking bullshit. Anyway, I'm going to spare you all. I'm going to turn the microphone off for 10 seconds while I shake this so you don't get this incredibly extreme ice shaking noise while I do it.
Thanks,
Thank you.
man. Shake it, 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 shake it,
My retirement plan is to open an awards, mostly so that I can stop buying alcohol and just acquire it through nefarious means.
That's an excellent plan.
Angry, your plan of turning off your microphone worked perfectly.
Good.
Luckily, for you, Angry, ADSy provided us a representational noise of what you were doing.
That's good. I also want to say hi on
can still hear you.
On Twitch, Inner Deviant. I want to say hello to someone who has the username Inner Deviant. So that's cool.
Inner Deviant. I like that.
So
They're a new visitor.
This is my take on Dave Degroff's Belmont Breeze. Apparently, it's meant to be garnished with mint and a strawberry. It's pretty colour, isn't it?
What's in it?
Rye whiskey from the place where Kirsten works. Rye whiskey, sherry, lemon juice, and my homemade orange and mandarin cordial. So yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's my riff on it. So
okay.
Oh well, that's really nice. That's really good.
All right.
Might be good with a mint garnish as well. You know, you do slap the mint about to wake it up and get the oil scent going, and then you stick it in your glass, and then every time you take a drink, you inhale some mint while you do it.
I can't remember the name of the show that had the guy who plays Withnell. Win Withnell and I. What's his name?
Oh, sorry? No, Paul Withnell is Richard E. Grant.
Yeah. Richard E. Grant. Okay, so Richard E. Grant in this show did a sketch with another fairly famous female comedian in Britain, and they were living in a very rich house, and it was supposed to be a cooking show, and he was obviously with all the money, and he was getting it on with the tennis coach, and the mother, his mother, held her in complete contempt. So, for example, one day she's standing in front of the Aga with a spoon and said, for our wedding, my mother-in-law, or, you know, Stefan's mother, gave us this spoon, and I bought this Aga. And in the Aga, I made this thing. Anyway, she uses all of these words for what you do to the food. Distress the chicken while humiliating the flesh, with lots of pica stabs of the squeezings of love massage. Then there was another one, distress, embarrass, undress, and form bondage with. And all these cooking terms that were obviously ridiculous, but just was wonderful to just splice into the real world of cooking and culinary. And about the time I was washing bottles for a wine company, and me and my direct boss would we were fans of this show, and we would have all of these terms for wine, and we would say distress the red, pigment temperature of a tepid 400 degrees Celsius, and when the glass softens, enjoy over a lovely rancid pork or a rotting butter.
Oh dear.
And because the warehouse would get really fucking hot, and we would, doing hot work, we would either be washing bottles, or I would be washing bottles, or we would be filling and labeling bottles, and bloody you'd label these green bottles. You'd fill them with the filler, and you'd label them, and then you'd put corks in, and then you'd put the plastic caps over all of these bottles, and then you get a heat gun and shrink wrap all of the plastic liners over these fucking wine bottles.
Yeah.
And it'd be like 35 degrees outside, 45 degrees inside, and then you'd have this fucking heat gun, and you'd have to stare down the heat gun to see if the shrink wrap had wrapped properly. And it was like, okay, it's now 52 degrees in this eye. I'm going to swap eyes. And now I've burnt that eye. And now I've burnt that eye. And so you do like a table each, and then you'd swap. Except I wasn't allowed to do it, the swap part, because my labels went on crooked. I couldn't get my labels straight. And I said, yeah, I'm straight. And I said, line them up with the side. And I'm going, okay, I'll line them up with the side. And I said, now you've got them off center. The front label and the back label are, off. And I said, why do we have to have a back label anyway? Everyone thinks on the front label. And so they stopped putting back labels on because they said, that's a good point. And I'll get a raise for that.
Yeah. It's like people distrusting you. I have no idea why people would distrust you, Aidsy. It seems outrageous and unprecedented.
Yes.
So at Christmas, I got roped into doing a day of helping in the warehouse to do the tailored gins. So at Archie, you can buy a gin that has your name on the front.
Yeah.
And they were like, we need all hands on deck. And I was like, I'm not doing anything. Sure, I'll help. And I had to use the shrink sealer. And I was like, there is a reason why I don't work in the warehouse. It's hot. And the shrink sealer is hotter.
Yeah.
No, the shrink sealer sucks ass. It's like a hairdryer that's really stubby. Or or an electric metal furnace, like an induction furnace that lost its way.
Yes.
Or a hair curler that's bad. And
just so hot. And like it was December and it was a hot day, and I was like, oh, this is rough. And all the warehouse staff were like, hey, we really appreciate the extra pair of hands. We can tell that you're a soft office bitch. I was like, no.
Yeah. Remember that next time you need your fucking con note done, motherfucker.
You know what? I have had absolutely no issues getting anything in or out of the warehouse. You know why? Because I turned up on a really hot day to help.
Good call. Good. You earned your stripes. Yeah.
Oh, and
cool.
what did I do? About 4 hours work, and I will milk this for months. It's fine.
Absolutely. Keep going. I tell you what, though,
I
the other time
understand
not to be
people management.
the other time not to be in the warehouse is in the middle of winter. No. Because what people don't realise is
And people fight over being on the heat gun in the middle of winter.
When you're in an alcohol warehouse, right, the ambient temperature over a couple of days soaks into the fluid in the bottles and then gives itself back over 2 or 3 days. So you get 2 42-degree days, and all of the wine in all of the warehouse, or all of the booze in all the warehouse gets fucking hot, ambiently, like 37, 36, 37 degrees, which is not great for the product.
It's not great for wine. Nothing bothers spirit.
And then even if the temperature drops, that alcohol is giving back all the heat that it absorbed over that time. And it's still stinking hot in the warehouse.
All you get is some condensation in the neck. But when you're bottling, you need to control the temperature because so you bottle on density as opposed to actual millage. So that's why sometimes you'll see different fill levels in different like kinds of bottles. I don't have any unopened bottles in my house, but mechanical bottling, they it controls the temperature, and you get the exact same amount of liquid in the bottle. When you hand bottle,
it can be all over the fucking
sometimes
place.
you get a different wash line, so you have to overcompensate if it's 40 degrees, and then undercompensate if it's 4.
Oof, yes.
As soon as that temperature changes, it's like the air gap bounces around.
And then you get people who are like, "Excuse me, you've underfilled my bottle," and you're like, "No, technically we didn't. We just bottled it at 40 degrees."
Have a free case quickly now, because otherwise, you're fucking half of a mil that you missed out on will destroy your enjoyment of the wine. Here, have 3 cases. We won't help take them out to the car because you've got something else to complain about. Off you go now.
There was a bottle flipper that I had the absolute pleasure of dealing with when I worked at Starwood. He was awful. And he would complain every single release about something.
About something.
About something. And eventually, I just got the nastiest dude in the sales team to bring him up and be like, excuse me, we actually bottle by hand. So that's where the craft is. Could you leave us alone? We literally cannot give you 3 mils of liquid.
Yeah, fuck off, dude. Yeah, that's the thing. God, sorry, I was just looking at a news site and there was a couple awesome stories. This one is like the Ozzest story. Listen to this. A couple boating on the Hawkesbury River in Sydney's northwest on Saturday afternoon have had a lucky escape after a spider spooked them so badly they crashed into an embankment. 32-year-old woman thrown several meters. So they got distracted, they freaked out, and then crashed into the bank. There's a photo. The boat is completely up on the riverbank and has smashed into a stone wall. and the woman had head injuries, was helicoptered out. The man had leg and head injuries. So the woman was thrown through the boat's windscreen, rolled across the bow of the boat, and back into the water. And it's just like, that's when like people are scared of huntsmen and stuff. I go, huntsmen aren't dangerous unless they're hiding in the sun visor in your car, and you flip it down and you go,
And then they drop.
and crash. That's what happened to these people. Like, if the spider scared them, I reckon it's a huntsman. It's something big, and they're freaked out and gone, ah! And they've taken their hand off the steering wheel on the boat, and it's plowed into the bank and thrown them out of the boat and fucked them up a bit. That's what I love explaining to people. Like, yeah, we have venomous spiders and snakes, but they don't kill many people. But people hurt themselves in panic when they see one of them. And the other ones that stood out, this is a good news one about the tennis going on in Melbourne. And let me find it again because I've lost it for a second. But it's basically saying people around the world, because up to 30,000 spectators are being allowed in to watch the tennis. And so people around the world are seeing this and going, what the fuck? Why are there so many people there? And then the commentator's telling them there are 0 cases. There are literally 0 cases in Melbourne. So they're letting 30,000. And the rest of the world's going, what the fuck? You know? They're absolutely stunned.
It's actually really kind of funny because on TikTok, people were posting like cricket content, and Americans were like, where are your masks? Where are you being a mask hole? And people were like, we're in Western Australia. The last time we had COVID was in May. Like,
this is the first major international sporting event we've had since COVID broke out, but it's just time for it. And the rest of the world's going, what the fuck? And we're just going, no, dude, I remember Stephen Colbert was interviewing Serena Williams, and she's just going, oh yeah, they put us in lockdown for 2 weeks, but it makes sense because they need to be careful because they've got like no cases as far as I know. And Stephen Colbert just goes, wow. It's just like,
Yeah.
are you fucking kidding? There's this whole country that doesn't have COVID at all. It's just,
well, technically that's true, because despite what Australia says, New Zealand is not actually a state of Australia.
but there's a few. There's New Zealand, Australia, Vietnam, South Korea. There are a few places that have basically no cases because they've done the right control measures. And besides that, the other story that caught my eye, where I've had a few drinks and I don't even remember what it was that caught my eye. But if I scroll through, it might leap out at me again. Oh, here's one. The last Holden Commodore manufactured in Australia sold for $750,000 at auction.
Why?
Not surprised.
Because there's some weirdo with more dollars than cents.
No, they'll appreciate the last Holden Commodore made in Australia. Will appreciate over time.
Yeah, but it's only for rich wankers, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but so's fucking Picasso.
No argument at all.
We never get to see it. There's so much art sitting in banks that is, fucking precious and wild and wonderful. That we're only going to see once it either gets sold or donated to a museum on loan because there's families trying to big note themselves to get their children into the papacy. Oh no, they did that in the Renaissance. Hang on.
But there's a thing that happens now with young modern artists. Like, okay, Picasso and stuff, and you are spot on. That's absolutely real. But there's basically a scam that happens with young modern artists. Like, rich person goes to a gallery showing by a young up-and-comer and says, cool, that's your centerpiece. Buying it for $40,000. And the artist who's been struggling for years just goes, yes, you're buying it for $40,000. I'm so happy. And then the rich prick goes to a valuer and goes, nudge, wink, what is this worth? And the valuer goes, this is important. This is worth $5 million, and they go, yes, it is, and then they loan it to a public art gallery, and they get a tax write-off that said, I just gave that gallery something that's worth $5 million, and they get a $5 million tax write-off. And the original artist is going, no, the $40,000 was good, I'm happy. But the rich prick who's bought it has just done like a $5 million tax write-down by donating it to a gallery after buying it. And it's just like, yep, that's a scam.
And it's not even donated in the sense that the gallery's got it. It's only lent.
It's loaned. It's indefinitely loaned, but they get to do a
definitely
tax
loaned, but it's loaned. The gallery doesn't own it, and the gallery's got to take responsibility for it. If anything happens to it, they've got to part with the currently insured value. Remember that art appreciates, and when it's in a gallery, that art appreciates like fuck. We bought blue poles for the Australian National Gallery in Canberra for $2 million. And the fucking outrage was sensational.
That was
people
Gough
were
Whitlam.
going, it's fucking splattered shit on a piece of paper. What the fuck have we done? And it was Gough Whitlam at the time said, no, this is going to be good. And now it's worth $25 million. Right. And Australia actually owns it. It's one of the things that Gough said. Is like, no, we're buying it. We're actually buying it for us. And there is so much stuff on loan in Australian galleries that is appreciating like that. And if anything happens, like if the movers chip it when they're putting it in storage, then the artwork is ruined. The valuers come in and say, well, now you've got to give the owner $28 million for the art. That comes straight out of the taxpayers' coffers. And the tragic thing, and this breaks my heart, say you've scratched a bit of paint off in the moving. Let's just say that's happened.
Yes.
The movers are very good. But say you've scratched a bit of paint off. They basically have the option to restore it, which is at the owner's cost, but they'll be compensated. Or it's written off and the work is destroyed. And that happens in about half the cases, unless the country moves in and says, no, this is a national treasure. And it can't be destroyed. It's got to be restored. And so the fucking owner gets the compensation of the full value of the painting anyway and gets to keep the painting as its restored value, which can cost anywhere up to half its value to do. Because this restorations are meticulous. They take forever. They wipe off the grime. They make sure the colours are the same. They're very, very careful about what they do. They go millimetre by millimetre using fucking microscopes.
Those tiny little brushes where they do it. Sorry, I want to a couple of things.
Brushes and tiny little fucking cotton buds to get the grime off.
Cleaning is a big thing. Sorry, I want to cut across you to do a couple of things. One, to say hello to Certified O Center on Facebook. It's like, wow, we're talking money. We talk about everything. And yes, and we are talking about the outrages of money. But talking about the art gallery stuff and blue poles specifically, a couple of things. Blue poles actually does drop because there's so much paint on it. It occasionally drops paint chips on the ground because there's so much on it. Two stories. One, when we were at uni, before I was in theatre media, I actually, because I fucking balked the HSC really badly, I initially enrolled in the Creative Arts Associate Diploma, and I, after 2 years, transferred into the theatre media degree, which is how AD and I know each other. We went to uni together. But we were doing, when I was in the Creative Arts ASDIP, we did an excursion to the National Gallery in Canberra, and our fucking tutor lecturer, Jeff Clifton, was hilarious. And I just said, okay, my plan for this trip is to stand in front of blue poles and start shouting really loudly, "This is bullshit. How much of my tax money went on this? My 5-year-old could do this on..." I was 20 at the time. I did not have a 5-year-old. And Jeff was just laughing, going, "Yep, do that." And I was going to do it as a prank, and I fronted up. Blue Poles is a magnificent piece of art.
It's awesome.
It's Jackson Pollock at his height. It is, and I just stood there going, "Holy shit!
It's
this
awesome.
Is fucking great."
What I've also seen is film of a car going down the Hudson River at dawn, on a foggy dawn, just filming out the window of the car. And I was going, fuck, that's Blue Poles.
Yeah.
That's Blue
Pollock
Poles.
knew what he was doing. Oh,
That's what it
Certified
is.
Center is watching from Las Vegas. You are not actually our only Las Vegas viewer, but welcome. My other Blue Poles story is they were kind of freaked out at how expensive it was and having it on public display. And this is folklore. It may or may not be true, but there was apparently discussion like, it's just fucking paint dripped on a canvas. We could just, do a fake one and put that on display and keep the real one securely locked away. And they tried to, and they were like, this is shit. This looks nothing like it. This just does not have the impact. Like Jackson Pollock did the drip painting and shit, but he worked on it for decades. And while there was a massive amount of randomness in what he did, there was also a really significant amount of artistic guidance in what he did.
Yeah, Pollock said time and time again that the drip paintings were not accidents. They were deliberate. And you go, yeah, whatever, you drunken fuck.
He was that
drunken
too, by the
wife-beating fuck. And then basically you look at them and go, no, they are deliberate.
Yeah.
There are actual structures within there.
Oh, yeah.
There are identifiable representations of the world in Jackson Pollock. It was, in fact, Jackson Pollock that opened up my eyes to the appreciation of our own Indigenous art.
Good call.
Because it was only after I saw the... Because you stand in front of a lot of abstract or avant-garde art or whatever, and you look at it and go, okay, it's a piece of fucking shape on a painting, and then all of a sudden what'll happen is it'll click into the 3D view of what it's representing, and you go, fuck, there it is. It's like those fucking laser pictures that are 3D. And you see the sailing ship or the teddy bear, those, you remember them. Anyway, so
like magic eye, they call those magic eye.
Magic eye, yeah. Anyway, so then you see the 3D representation of what's actually going on and go, oh, there it is. Best way to do this, the best way to start this process is to go and look at Impressionist paintings. There are paintings that you go and see, especially the ballet series, and you go in there and there's electric lights on the wall, and you see the painting and those lights are on. You look at the painting and you go, those lights are on. I can see from where I'm standing that somehow
Abigail's
it's like
back.
they put electric lights on. Hi there, Dr.
Hello.
Abigail. It's good to see you back. And then
look at my tummy.
You see right into the
look at my crotch.
I am.
Fox.
Like, you lean forward, there's boobs, and there's, it's a view. It's a view is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And then you go to the Aboriginal art, the indigenous art. And one of the things that's hard to describe is rock. And you've got to imagine the lines of organic energy coming off all of the rocks, the ground, the trees, the animals, not the sun,
Right.
and everything that sort of grows on the ground gives off concentric lines of energy, or dots of energy as well, and it sort of throbs with its own power. And once you hook into that, you can see a landscape in front of you. You can see a representation of a 3D world in front of you. And then you, of course, flip the thing over, and you can see the map that it's showing you. Then you transpose the thing around to the other side. You've got to imagine you're looking at this thing like a hologram, and you can move the Rubik's Cube inside the hologram and get different aspects of what the meanings are, just by changing the shapes of what you're seeing. If you let yourself, you can see some pretty spectacular meanings. It always helps to have a primer, as in this comes from this country, or this comes from this artist, or this comes from this, from men or from women, because the emphases are different, but the process of seeing it, you look at pictures on the wall of galleries and go, yep, that's just splotches of color. I'm never going to get the $25 back. And then you see a Mondrian, and what's really great is if you get to see a retrospective of Mondrian.
Yes.
And you get to see
I
the
love
original.
Mondrian. Yeah.
You get to see the original piers. Boat piers with the sticks up.
Yeah.
And then you get to see that image more and more abstracted, and more placed. And then you get to see the cityscapes within. And then you get to see the human structures within. You look at Picasso, the Cubist stuff when I was younger was always hard to fucking get into until I saw Nude walking down the stairs, and it showed all the intersections of the plane as the nude's walking down the stairs. And then once you understand all the intersections of the plane, then you see Cubism again, and you see what I'm seeing is the same image from 5 different sides.
And when that first gets explained to you, that's real eye-opening. You're going, that's just bad. You're going, no, he's trying to show you the front view, the side view, and the 3/4 view all at the same time.
All at the same time.
Like Mondrian, when he got to the ultimate abstraction, like the famous one was called Broadway Boogie Woogie, and it's just straight intersecting lines and little color. And when you explained, that's an absolute abstraction of looking down from a skyscraper at the streets of a big city like New York. You go, oh yeah, that's absolutely.
Oh yeah, it really is. You can see it now. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yes. In the Deviant, you want to know what Dr. Abigail is making? Dr. Abigail is making something truly fucking fantastic, honestly. She is hand binding a book. Do you want to give the précis of what it is you're actually doing again, Abigail?
Yeah, so a friend of mine, her son, who is about 15, ended up in hospital, mental health related. And so his mum posted on Facebook that he was there, and could people please comment and post some messages of love and support. And over 100 people responded, and it was amazing. And this book that I'm making are those posts.
Yes. So basically a bunch of support posts to internet turned into a book, which Abigail is now hand binding to be presented by the lad who Jesus.
Yes.
I mean, it's not magic, but in terms of positive things to help you with your recovery,
Yeah.
that's pretty fucking good.
So this is just the text block. I'm going to put a hard cover on it with book cloth, bound with book cloth as well.
See,
so
that
this
is
is
not
just the
such.
cover page and the title and all that.
If
So
you got like a book of how cool you are, like in a proper hardbound with cloth bound, you'd go, I'm pretty cool, as it turns out. All these people say I'm cool, to the point where there's a book about me saying I'm cool.
Yeah.
And then
I do appreciate that.
And you go, excuse me, turn to page 232 and write that out for homework.
Sorry, I was going to say, Kirsten, you were going to say something?
So I went to text goodnight to my husband because it's about his bedtime, and I texted someone I work with.
Oh no!
What could possibly go wrong? Good night. Thinking of you. Wish we could cuddle.
It wasn't particularly like salacious, but I did use our ridiculous nickname for each other, which doesn't need to be publicly consumed.
No, that's pretty fun. That is pretty
Such
fun.
an idiot.
No,
I'm drinking water.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, actually, there was one more news story, and I don't know who's seen this, and I'm particularly interested in your take, AZ, but generally, if I said the words Jewish space laser, what would you think?
I know what I think of.
No, you haven't heard this one, AZ. Okay, there is this absolutely...
there was this nightclub in Berlin once that I went to.
Yeah, that would be better, but this is a real thing. An absolutely insane person has been elected to Congress in the US as a Republican. She says 9/11 was an inside job. She's a QAnon person. She says Sandy Hook and the other school shootings were false flags. She has also said... the recent wildfires in California, I'm trying to find the exact quote. She's going like, oh, there's too many coincidences about these fires. There are all these people who said they saw what looked like lasers or blue beams of light causing the fires. And
AKA lightning.
AKA lightning,
and she's basically blamed it on orbiting laser platforms run by the Jewish global conspiracy. So
isn't that the Mel Brooks movie, History of the World Part 1?
Yeah, with
Jews in space.
Yeah,
Jews in space.
Jews in space.
Which ended up becoming the basis of Spaceballs. I was really disappointed he never did the full-on Jews in Space movie because that History of the World was really funny. But no, this insane person, what's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is an incredibly open QAnon supporter and got elected in the last elections. And it's like actual insane, dangerous people are serving in the US Congress at the moment.
Isn't one of the like gun-toting like QAnon sorts?
There's two of them.
So there's another one, another triple banger like name kind of thing. and she only just graduated high school while she was running for Congress.
Wow.
And she posted this video online that was really popular with the right wingers about how she was going to pack heat going into Congress, which is like super fucking illegal. And she posted this thing like, I'm going to do it. I got the right. I've got my fucking holster and I'm going to take my gun into Congress. So they just like grabbed her when she went in like, no, you're fucking not.
Yeah. No gun for you, lady. Because they I have too much to say, so I won't say it about the Second Amendment and tyrannical governments and where's my nuclear bomb, because I've got to save myself against a tyrannical government.
And there are people in America who, in all seriousness, and we had this discussion the other day on the stream,
we did
believe they should be allowed to have anything the military has. Artillery.
That's right, because how
tanks.
the fuck are you supposed to protect yourself from a tyrannical government if they've got nuclear weapons and I don't? You know, anything you get something militarily useful, the government says no, you're not allowed to have that. And it's like the Second Amendment specifically says if a tyrannical government gets in this country, the citizenry in a well-organised militias are supposed to be able to take it out. So the government, in a really non-tyrannical way, has said, yes, you can have guns that'll kill each other, but guns that'll stop government going, you can't have. So you can't have cannons, and you can't have Stinger missiles, and you can't have fucking nuclear missiles or nuclear bombs, but you can have semi-automatic weapons that can shoot your family.
My favorite take I've seen on it is people who do occasionally have this delusion about, I'll fight against a tyrannical government. Someone responded, you know, you're bringing a rifle to a drone fight, right?
Wasn't that Jim Jeffries?
Possibly. It's like you could, you know, pose a serious disruptive threat. And if it got to the point where you were considered a serious threat, they wouldn't send troops against you. They would fucking send drones to bomb whole neighborhoods where you lived. If you were thought to be on a particular city block, they would bomb the whole fucking city block, because that's happened before in the US where a dissident was regarded as particularly troublesome, and they have bombed the entire city block to get the people that they think are troublesome. That's a thing that actually fucking happened. So, yeah.
Wasn't that in Detroit?
There are a couple of famous ones, and I believe you are correct. Detroit was the site of one of the most egregious ones. There was some really militant black group who was causing shit, and all the local residents were saying, can you please do something about these guys, because they're fucking freaky. And they ended up firebombing and took out a whole city block.
With drones. That was a Trumpism.
Oh, no, that was pre-drones. That was like 70s. They literally a plane flew over and dropped incendiary bombs and took out a whole city block. These days, it would be slightly more precise. But yeah, if you were regarded as a serious threat, they would just fucking take you out with drones.
Because Trump dropped a lot of drone strikes on America itself.
No, he didn't.
Like
what
he
do you
was
mean?
bang up for wiping out muzzos. But he was also cool with dropping fucking hellfires on Americans in America.
It didn't actually happen.
Didn't it?
No,
No,
there was no.
it didn't.
He did he was the first one to ever authorize the deployment of the MOAB, the Massive Ordnance Airburst, or to take out a fucking
the Daisy
mountain
Cutter
in Pakistan, the mother of all bombs. The military people who just always wanted to set one off appealed to Trump's stupidity and fake. Said, no, sir, you'd be sending a really strong message to these insurgents in Pakistan if you leveled a mountain. And we have a bomb that will level a mountain. And they actually, and this everyone forgets, This was like 3 years ago. He actually deployed the MOAB. That's never been used before. It is the most powerful non-nuclear bomb in existence, and it fucking took out a mountain.
It's. I mean, even in the Vietnam War, they used to drop these daisy cutters to make landing zones for helicopters.
Yes.
These days, tactically, there's a couple of things that the Vietnam War tacticians used to do that these days they don't do anymore. If you drop a daisy cutter on a area of land, you alert the locals as to where the helicopters are going to land.
Yes.
It becomes pretty obvious. The other thing they used to do is they used to stand to, and most armies do this at dawn and dusk, which is when you're going to get attacked because the light's in the wrong place to defend anything. At dawn and dusk, you stand at the perimeter of your fort or encampment or emplacement, guns out, looking out. And what the Americans did, and only just recently stopped doing, is they used to fire off several clips of ammunition and several artillery pieces of ammunition all at once, all the time, for 15 minutes. And what that does is effectively tell, again, any local inhabitants, we're over here. Please feel free to map out our exact locations and blow shit out of us. And that happened on a regular basis. The Australian camp didn't stand to, well, they stood to, but they didn't fire everything off because there was no one to fire at. And every now and again you'd hear it crack and some VC would fall over. But it was one of those things that made Australian troops hide from American troops, which is not a good advertisement for allies. And one time, this is a very famous story of an Australian patrol. They hear an American patrol coming through, and they hide in a ditch under some cover. Some big planted trees, and they find themselves hiding with, hi there, Dr. Abigail. They find themselves hiding with a unit of VC, and everyone just goes, and then they let the Americans tromp past, and one of them's got a fucking beatbox on his fucking shoulder, playing fucking loud music, and they're wearing 477 cologne, and you can smell them a mile off, and they're going, Jesus fucking Christ. And the VC and the Australians are looking at one another, and they just go, okay, we're all just going to fucking walk away. And they just, okay, this was a one-time thing, okay? A one-time thing.
We have a mutual enemy that is technically our ally, but we were both trying to avoid a bad time. So
technically our ally and technically trying to liberate you. So we'll just fucking keep it down on the DL, and we won't do the fighting thing because that will alert the fucking noisy boys, and they'll be back with their stompy boots on and
it will all
start
go to
throwing
shit.
fucking explosives in random directions, and I don't want to get caught in that. So yes, that's the point that I was trying to make there was that You were talking about the news, which was
Jewish space lasers.
Jewish space lasers. I want there to be Jewish space lasers.
Yeah.
Because I know that Jewish space lasers would hit certain Hasidic delis in East St Kilda, because those fuckers have been robbing the locals for years. And, there'd be phone calls to the Mossad going, "We want our revenge. And, down the car and, Delhi would just fucking disappear in a pile of fucking ash and dust. Certain fucking progressive or Orthodox synagogues would fucking find themselves etched on the concrete dome. Pick up your game or fucking suffer the consequences in Hebrew, of course.
This is my neighborhood you're talking about, and there is somewhat of a tension between. There's a lot of Russian Jewish people. Like you walk down East St Kilda, Balaclava, like Carlisle Street or whatnot, and you will hear a lot of people talking in Russian, and there is somewhat a bit of tension between the Russian Jewish people and the Israeli Jewish people, and yes, it's almost like it's like when you get schisms in Christianity as well. It's like they hate the people who are the closest to them, but not quite them, more than they hate the people who are completely out there. I've heard some pretty funny jokes. I mean, our mate Todd, the American guy who came to uni on exchange and stayed here, he had this good joke about it's like someone sort of sinking in quicksand, going, "Help me!" And someone goes to help him, and goes, "Well, are you a person of faith?" And he says, "Of course I am." I go, "Well, that's good." He says, "I'm a Baptist. Are you a Baptist?" And he goes, "Yes, I'm a Baptist." "Oh, that's excellent." It's like, "Are you a Southern Baptist or an Eastern Baptist?" "I'm Southern." "Oh, are you?" And it breaks it down to like 6 schisms that happened in Baptist congregations in America. And these guys are exactly the same until you get to like the 6th schism and they're on opposite sides. And he stomps on the guy's head who's sinking in the quicksand, because like you are 99% of the way, but your lot split from my lot 50 years ago, so I hate you. And it's just
that's right. You're trying to bring the devil into me.
Really weird stuff.
And down you go. Well,
On that point, I'm fading, so I'm going to go to sleep now.
That's fair. You had a big day. Thanks for joining.
And I've got another day to do, so I do need to be a responsible grown-up.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
No.
Bye, Kirst.
All right.
Fox of Fate, looking at you, thinking good things, buddy. And Dr. Abigail, I'm finally seeing your beautiful head.
Oh yeah, we've changed angles. Good.
Yes, yeah. I'm gluing. I've glued and clamped the text block, and I just have to wait for glue to dry.
Now it's
actually, like 80% of the time spent binding books is waiting for glue to dry. There's so much glue in them. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to know a bookbinder in Bathurst, and she used to have 8 books on the go. And that would be her 8 hours work for the day, because she'd do the signatures and stick them in. And then she'd be ready to put the spine onto the thick glued cover. And then she'd be ready to gild the pages of she'd be ready to trim the pages of one book. and you've got to let the dust get off it, and then she'd be ready to gild the next book that she'd, trimmed, and then she'd just go around in a circle, and she had this wonderful.
No, I've got 5 text blocks over there, like in various states of construction. So
she had a circular table with with vices and a toolbox in the middle, and it cranked, and then the whole table came round.
That's so good.
Wow.
And she would sit on her large stool, and behind her were more tools and more various different knives and various different things. And she had her strings waxed and set out on loops. And they were, there was like 50 loops. And the first thing she'd do in the morning is measure out loops, wax them, tie them, put them in the slots. And then as she was doing her signatures, she'd get out a string and then fold the signature over and then compress it, move the whole carousel around, and then she'd gild the book, and let the gilding dry set. And then the last thing she'd do is she'd come through with a very sharp knife and shave the gilding off the leather where it wasn't supposed to be. And then she would press down the leather in the corners so it'd go flat. And then she'd take the book and leave it in a press. She had like 4 presses, and she could put like 3 or 4 or 5 books on top of one another, as long as, and this is the weird part, you put the littlest book on the bottom, and then the bigger book on top, and then the bigger book on top, and then the bigger book on top. She says it's awesome when you've got like exercise books or the same book, and you can put them all on top, but you do it littlest down the bottom, biggest on the top, because the pressures involved, it's more important to get more coverage on the top. She did explain why. I don't understand it, but it's a thing. But anyway, her works were great, and she used to spend 8 hours doing that, and then just fucking go and make dinner for hubby when he would get home, and she'd have a book ready every day. She'd have 2 or 3 ready every day, and then she'd call up the customer, and over they'd come and pick it up and wax lyrical about how wonderful it was, and pay her up, because that was the conditions. You don't get your book until I get my money in cash, thank you.
Yep.
And
Fuck you, pay me.
Sorry?
The business etiquette everyone should have is fuck you, pay me. And
Yes.
Pay me.
Waiting for stuff. I always think when that Homer Simpson with when he has his ad on TV and says, "Now we play the waiting game," and waits for 5 seconds and go, "The waiting game sucks. Let's play Hungry Hungry Hippos." And
I have. Sorry, go on.
No, you go.
I've made a couple of books for people for free, and just friends or like people who I made some really, really awesome notebook / journals for an ex of mine, because I owed her a pizza, things like that. But I haven't done it for commission yet. I need to practice some different techniques, and I've got I want to practice doing gold leaf and silver leaf
Ooh, nice.
embossing, things like that.
Yeah.
So and other such embellishments, but it'd be nice to get paid to do it. That'd be amazing.
Gold leaf is surprisingly easy.
From what I've seen.
I got told to do gold leaf on a thing, and I went, you're going to trust me with actual gold? And they said the amount of gold that you're holding in that comb is 20 cents worth.
Yeah.
And I said, that's still gold, isn't it? And they said, yes, but it's only 5 atoms thick.
Yeah.
And it's got to be 5 atoms thick so you can't see through it. And I held it up to the light, and you can still sort of see light through it. And I'm going, that's fucking amazing. And so I said, it's very light. And she said, yes, don't blow on it, because if it crinkles itself together, it's going to be very difficult to get apart. So, and then what you do is you lay your tweezers sort of down, covering the old gold patch, and then you brush on the gold leaf, and it hugs every nook and cranny perfectly when you brush it in, and it stretches beautifully. And then if you've gone over, you can always cut it off with that trusty knife, and then basically you've got this perfect gold leaf representation. I was just stunned that an amateur like me was allowed near it, and that it looked good. And I went, I could do lots of gold leaf, and she said, no, you can't. Anyway, look, I am fading pretty fast, and I was ordered to bed by various different people last night. After I insulted my erstwhile partner and boss, angry by falling asleep during his presentation of cocktails. The lids are getting heavy.
That's fair.
The cock is drooping.
Yeah.
I meant chicken, like fighting cock. And I'm drooping. I'm bleeding from the crop. The spurs of the other, of Father Time have barked me. And I think I will allow one more series of eggs to be laid.
Yeah.
And that will be all. So, you guys rule. All right. I love you all. Thank you for being wonderful. And I'll see you later.
All right. Take care, man.
Good night,
Bye.
That was indeed a very tired face just before he went away.
Yes.
Yep. AT looked half asleep.
Yeah, he tries to force himself to soldier on in a not particularly productive way. But it's good. It's nice that he called it himself tonight, rather than us having to forcibly say go to bed. But it's all good. How's everyone else doing? Soldiering on?
Good.
Yeah. I'm a bit tired.
I'm a little bit tired.
I'm just exhausted. I woke up in a hideous amount of pain today, and it just sucks, and I'm really exhausted. Didn't get enough sleep.
There's an imposter among us. There's an imposter somewhere. I don't know where it is. Be careful.
Have you played Among Us, Angry?
I have not played it, no.
Yeah, you probably
I'm
wouldn't get
aware
the
of
joke
that.
then. I crocheted this crewmate from the game, and I put it on my head.
Are you sure you're not the imposter in a deviant?
I'm definitely. No, it's you who's sus. I'm not sus.
How am I the sus
I'm
one?
not the imposter.
Yes.
But
Sus.
I saw you vent.
I was wiring it. I was doing the wiring.
Yeah. I look, from what I've read about that game, is even if someone actually sees you doing something that proves you're the imposter, that doesn't mean you're out, because they have to convince other people, and you can just go,
Yes.
"Oh, it's sus the way they're saying that about me."
Well, in a game with some of my friends, I actually managed to do that, deflect everything off me.
Yeah.
His evidence was unassailable. Me and the other imposter knew exactly that he was correct. We turned into him being...
Yeah. That's great.
He even had one other person with him, and we were following that other person.
Yeah, it's a weird old thing. Like I said, the limited stuff I know about that game is, it took off when some Twitch streamers started playing it, and
Yeah, because of the
then
lockdown.
weirdly, the game publisher was trying to hit them for copyright, and people saying the only reason people are buying your game is because these people put it on Twitch, because your game had been out for months with really flat sales, and then some influential Twitch people did it, and sales shot through the roof. You probably shouldn't fuck over people who did such a favor for your business. Just a thought. Yeah. But hey, who knows in this wild and crazy world of ours?
I'm fading.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I think it's that time.
I had a really late night last night, so it might be a really good time to sign off tonight.
Yep.
But it has been another fun night, and I will be here tomorrow night again. Probably, definitely enforce a comparatively early, 10 o'clock ish start. In a deviant, it is 11:15 on Saturday night here, and we started at 8 p.m. So we've been going for 3 and a bit hours, which again, not marathon. Last night we went to 1 a.m. So that was 5 hours, but that's Friday.
Yep.
Friday night is official party. Friday night's
and New Year's
Friday night's pizza, booze, and boobs out night.
Yeah,
so.
and New Year's Eve we have to go till 3 a.m. to see in the West Australian New Year's. But in a deviant 5:60 a.m. I'm always interested with people from the US. Are you insomniac, or did you work night shift, or are you just an early riser? Because most of the folks from North America who join in at absurd hours are insomniacs, and it's fine. I'm glad insomniacs company for a while. So, but yes, definitely going to sign off. Be back for Sunday night with an almost definite sort of 10 p.m. finish, because it's a work day the day after. But fabulous people, all look after yourselves.
Good night, everyone.
See you another time. Okay, in a
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper. I think we should start a podcast called Speaking of Star Trek.
Yeah, we should.
And
that'd be great.
And
then talk about Lord of the Rings a lot.
Yeah. No. Because eventually people will understand the in-joke. We say Speaking of Star Trek when it has bearing on what we're actually talking about.
Yeah.
But,
no, that'd be great.
Night,
good night, everyone.
See you all later.
Bye.
Bye. And in the